I think we are ready to start, so please take your seats. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, as you already know, the chairperson has an unavoidable obligation this afternoon, and he has asked me to begin our debate. He will join us later this afternoon. We have completed our task with agenda item number 7, so now we move to agenda item number 8. With regard to the... Ladies and gentlemen, please. Now we're going to start the examination of agenda item number 8 with regards to the report of the subsidiary body on its work in 2013 and the evaluation of nominations for inscription on the representative list of intangible cultural heritage of humanity that will occupy us this afternoon and perhaps, hopefully not, tomorrow morning. At this stage, I'll invite the chairperson of the subsidiary body, Mr. Ahmed Skouti from Morocco, and the rapporteur, Ms. Noriko Aikawa from Japan, to join us on the podium. Okay, while they're coming forward, let me remind submitting states that may have thoughts about withdrawing their nominations that you must do so before I open the specific agenda item. I recall that a decision by the committee will lead to a 4-year wait before the file can be resubmitted. Please inform the Secretariat immediately if you so wish to withdraw your file. The procedure for covering this agenda item will be similar to that of the consultative body that we did yesterday and this morning. The rapporteur, Ms. Aikawa, will present an oral report on the work of the body and a number of overall considerations, followed by a brief debate. We'll not adopt the overall decision, decision 8.8, until we have evaluated all the individual files. I will invite the chairperson, Mr. Skouti, is that how we pronounce it, to introduce each file and summarize the key findings and recommendations of the subsidiary body. Then I'll open the floor to the committee for the committee's debate on each individual draft decision and adoption. As with the consultative body, decisions, interventions on debates regarding the adoption of a draft decision are limited to state members of the committee. Okay, let me now declare agenda item 8 open. Our document is 8.com/8add2. The ground rules for this exercise are identical to those of the items pertaining to the report of the consultative body we just examined. I will therefore be repeating them. There is one important difference. Since the members of the subsidiary body are also sitting as committee members, once the subsidiary body has delivered its general report, it will have completed its mandate according to its terms of reference. Its chairperson will continue to help us by delivering the body's report on the individual nominations and their recommended draft decisions. During the debates on these decisions, I'll encourage the other 18 committee members to express their views, as we have read in the written report that the report of the body is the unanimous opinion of the 6 members. Nevertheless, all members of the committee, including those of the body, can also be recognized. I assume that their interventions will largely be to clarify the thinking that underlines the body's collective recommendation. Of course, if, in light of the debate, they become convinced that another interpretation of the file is more reasonable, they may also express their support for it. May I remind you once again that each submitting state will be recognized for 2 minutes and its remarks after the committee has taken the decision on its nomination. Okay, now I'll ask the rapporteur of the subsidiary body, Ms. Aikawa, to present the oral report. Madam, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Chairperson. It is my pleasure to introduce the report of the subsidiary body of its evaluation of nominations to the representative list for the 2013 cycle. The subsidiary body was composed of Spain, Czech Republic, Peru, Japan, Nigeria, and Morocco. When we met for the first time in April 2013, we elected Mr. Ahmed Skunti from Morocco as chairperson and Mr. Augustus Babajed Abibola from Nigeria as vice chairperson. My colleagues then honored me with the duties of rapporteur of the body. Altogether, 38 files to the representative list were processed by the Secretariat, which informed the states of the information required to complete the nominations. 2 submitting states withdrew their files, while 5 other files remained incomplete, the result being that the body was called upon to evaluate a total of 31 nominations. This included 2 files referred in 2011, 2 new multinational nominations, and 1 extended multinational nomination. When we met the second time from 24 to 28 June this year, we collectively evaluated each nomination, debated over recommendations on each criterion, and decided whether or not to recommend inscription or whether to recommend referring the nomination to the submitting state. The resulting recommendations and the draft decision thus represent, in all cases, our unanimous consensus. In case of recommendations not to inscribe the nomination or to refer it, the body sought to provide succinct but useful feedback or suggestions to the submitting state in its draft decision. Of course, subsidiary body members who were nationals of a nominating state party did not evaluate the corresponding nominations, had no access to the written reports of other members, and left the meeting room during the evaluation. Of the 31 nominations, the initial evaluation reports that the members completed online before their face-to-face meeting showed unanimous support for 7 files, those submitted by Bangladesh, China, Italy, Japan, Kyrgyzstan, Peru, and the Republic of Korea, and divergent opinions for the 24 others. When examining the 31 nominations, we were once again impressed with the diversity of intangible cultural heritage that was nominated. We were also satisfied to observe a very good geographical representation. Nominations were presented from 6 countries that do not yet have elements of intangible cultural heritage inscribed on the convention's list: Ethiopia, the former Yugoslav Republic of Macedonia, Kazakhstan, Niger, Republic of Moldova, and Ukraine. Mr. Chairperson, allow me to reiterate once again on behalf of the subsidiary body that our recommendation not to inscribe an element at this time in no way constitutes a judgment on the merits of this element itself, but refers only to the adequacy of the information presented within the nomination file. For this cycle, the subsidiary body respected the committee's instruction to make limited use of the referral option, applying it only for cases concerning the lack of technical detail. We recommended referring only one nomination back to the submitting state. The experience of the subsidiary body in implementing the referral option will be discussed under the separate agenda item 8.13b. As in previous cycles, we based our recommendations on the information the state provided in the nomination. An unfavorable recommendation means that the body considered that the submitting state had not provided convincing information within the nomination to demonstrate that one or more criteria were satisfied. Mr. Chairperson, let me turn now to the substance of our evaluations, beginning with paragraph 33 of our written report. I will comment on the criteria for which 8 nominations did not receive a recommendation for inscription at this time. With regard to criterion R1, the subsidiary body encountered nominations testing the limit of what can be considered as intangible cultural heritage. A case in point was organized sport. The familiar question of the scale and scope of elements was once again highlighted in the discussion of the subsidiary body. The information provided for criterion R1 in some files tended to be generic and all-inclusive, and the contours of the proposed element were not clearly traced. Or the file did not clearly explain how different denominations constitute a single unified element or relate to the element as a whole. In the same regard, the body found at times the submitting state had not adequately described the element in its complexity, but instead had focused only on one or several limited aspects of the element. In several cases, the functions of the proposed element seem to have been taken for granted without a clear description. Submitting states are encouraged to fully illustrate the element's current social functions and cultural meanings, as these are crucial in determining whether an element constitutes intangible cultural heritage. The subsidiary body once again observed the close link between criteria R1 and R2, and it highlights that a clear and convincing demonstration that an element constitutes intangible cultural heritage is a prerequisite for that element to be able to contribute to the visibility of intangible cultural heritage in general, and awareness of its importance, as well as to promote intercultural dialogue. Mr. Chairperson, the subsidiary body found that submitting states still failed to understand that criterion R2 is meant to explain how inscription of the element on the representative list would contribute to increasing the visibility of intangible cultural heritage in general, to dialogue and to creativity, and not the visibility of the element itself. In the draft decision 8.8, the subsidiary body therefore proposes that the committee strengthen its request to the states issued at its 7th session to pay greater attention to this question. However, no nomination received an unfavorable recommendation solely because of the problems in this respect. The criterion R3 was another difficult criterion for submitting state. Here, the subsidiary body wanted to be certain that the safeguarding measures were well conceived to cover the entire element and not just certain aspects thereof. For example, there are cases where the safeguarding measures dealt primarily with the traditional craftsmanship, when the element that was described was far broader and its other components were not the focus of any safeguarding measures. The subsidiary body also considered that criterion R2 and R3 need to be in consonance with each other, and was surprised when encountering safeguarding measures that aim at safeguarding an element but do not take into account the increased visibility and the risk associated with it that the element will obtain in the wake of inscription. With regard to criteria R3 and R4, the subsidiary body found once again that nomination didn't always demonstrate the widest possible participation of communities in their preparation, particularly as concerns the safeguarding measures. The participants of the communities should be evident at all stages of the preparation of the nomination, including the elaboration of the safeguarding measures. If they are not involved, safeguarding cannot possibly be effective. The subsidiary body also emphasizes that community may make their opinions or wishes known directly and not only through intermediary institutions or those who claim to speak in their names. What is important is to take into account the cultural specificities of each community and not to assume who can represent it. In this regard, the body would like to find information in the nomination to help those who do not know the local context of understanding the basis of which intermediaries or representatives are acting. Concerning criteria R4, the subsidiary body again encourages a diversity of means to provide the free, prior, and informed consent of the communities to the nomination, as for example, the effective use of audiovisual materials. The body recalls to submitting states that evidence of the consent does not have to take written form, and certainly not in a uniform pre-drafted form, but can be, for example, video clips, photos, and recorded statement. Mr. Chairperson, criteria R5 was a contributing factor for only one nomination receiving an unfavorable recommendation. In that case, the body considered that lack of information under criterion R1 did not allow it to determine whether the inventory had enough specificity as regards the scope of the element so included and its diverse communities. This does not mean, however, the subsidiary body members did not regret that in a number of cases the nomination neglected to provide strong evidence and sufficient information concerning either the nature of the inventory and the circumstances under which it was drawn up and its being updated, or about the participation of communities and non-governmental organizations in its elaboration. The body was often torn between, on one hand, endeavoring to apply the precedents of previous bodies and the strict language of Decision 7-11 of the committee calling for rigorous application of this criterion, or, on the other hand, adopting a certain degree of flexibility as the committee itself had done in a number of specific cases during its 7th session. While feeling itself obliged to follow the actual practice of the 7th session of the committee, the subsidiary body calls upon the committee to set a clear standard for submitting states that the future subsidiary bodies can apply. The body also encourages those states to pay careful attention to Form ICH-02 and its instructions, where the minimum elements of explanation expected for the criterion R5 are well described. As regards inventories, the subsidiary body reiterates that their content cannot exclusively contain objects or physical spaces, but instead must be related to intangible cultural heritage. This does not, however, exclude the possibility that a single inventory might contain information about tangible and intangible cultural heritage at the same time. What is crucial in the view of the body is to make sure that elements in the inventory respond exactly to what is represented in the nomination, as several inventories presented for the present cycle contain discrepancy in this regard. Further, regarding criterion R5, subsidiary body wonders whether it might not be helpful for submitting state, the committee and the body to have a minimum standard for inventories, even though no standard format currently exists for inventories, since the 2003 convention itself encourages each state to draw up inventories in a manner geared to its situation. The body also proposes in its overall decision 8.8 that the committee decide to require that an extract of the inventory be provided in either English or French if the inventory was prepared in a language other than in either of working languages of the 2003 convention. Such a measure would allow the body to understand the documentary evidence provided, as is already the case for the documentary evidence of the consent of the communities under criterion R4. Finally, as regards criterion R5, the subsidiary body pondered specific questions concerning inventories of multinational nominations, notably whether inventories of each participating state should identify the element under the same title. We concluded that it is not necessary for each inventory to refer to the element with the same name or to contain the same information about the element, because the timing of the inventory may vary from the state to state. Having said that, the body considered it crucial that when the inventory in question are updated, the state concerned by the multinational nomination must be able to coordinate themselves and to bring the information to the same level, including, where appropriate, mentioning the situation in other countries. Mr. Chairperson, allow me to continue with a series of other overarching issues that the subsidiary body also addressed during its work, transcending any single criterion or any single nomination. First of all, I would like to highlight the question of communities. The subsidiary body considered it essential that communities be well defined to include not only those involved directly in the enactment and transmission of the expressions and practices of intangible cultural heritage, but also the larger population involved in appreciating, observing, and participating in that heritage. In the same vein, it is important to involve stakeholders from different sectors or multiple actors as well as authorities at different levels to ensure the effectiveness of safeguarding measures. The question of commerce and tourism, which were a recurrent subject of discussion in previous cycles, also attracted the attention of the subsidiary body this time. In general, the body is cautious about giving priority to commercialization and marketing as privileged modes of promoting the visibility of intangible cultural heritage, as a number of nominations were inclined to do so. As you know, Mr. Chairperson, this issue will be discussed at the present committee under item 13A. Similarly, the body, while fully recognizing the contribution that tourism can make to develop both in industrialized countries and developing countries, considers that the tourism-related activities cannot constitute safeguarding measures unless preventive measures against possible negative effects of tourism are also included. In order to assist submitting states, the body calls therefore, guidelines on the issues of tourism, along with discussion of the place that tourism can take in the effort of safeguarding the intangible cultural heritage and how to mitigate possible negative effect of tourism on the viability of living heritage. We know, Mr. Chairperson, that enactment of intangible cultural heritage often evolve into theatricalized or choreographed forms as part of the normal development. The body emphasizes, however, the imperative to safeguard the social function so that element continues to provide a sense of belonging and continuity to the communities concerned. The body also cautions against possible decontextualization where the performances are oriented for commercial purposes, overwhelming their character as intangible cultural heritage. Once again, the question is that of striking the right balance. Mr. Chairperson, the subsidiary body wishes to recall that periodic reports submitted by the state parties are very useful tools for following up the implementation of safeguarding measures, particularly for those nominations whose safeguarding measures could have been improved. We would like to request submitting states to regard periodic reporting as a chance to further explain the details of safeguarding measures in question and to take stock of the continued involvement and participation of the community concerned. The subsidiary body was encouraged to see a number of nominations that highlight the ties between tangible and intangible cultural heritage, or that link living heritage with the physical space. The body deems it important to reinforce mutual cooperation with other normative instruments in the field, notably the 1972 World Heritage Convention. The body was also enthusiastic about cases that accentuate the gender aspect of intangible cultural heritage and the particular contribution of women to the safeguarding. Further, Mr. Chairperson, the subsidiary body was pleased to see a number of cases in which submitting states framed their nomination to emphasize the important contribution of intangible cultural heritage to sustainable development in general, and also in specific aspects such as conflict resolution, peace building, environmental sustainability, and income generation. This tendency responds to the appeals of the committee to give due attention to questions of sustainable development, but it is also consistent with the view of the international community that is increasingly convinced that culture is a fundamental enabler of sustainability. We have already spoken about this earlier in our present session, and it will continue to be an important concern for future subsidiary bodies and the committee. Mr. Chairperson, let me conclude with a set of technical or formal issues, returning to page 20 of our written report. The subsidiary body was impressed to see several well-prepared nominations that might serve as model and source of inspiration for other state parties. This concerns the nominations submitted by Belgium, France, Italy, Japan, Peru, and Republic of Korea. The body found the file from Italy particularly interesting as an example of a serial national nomination. In general, however, the subsidiary body regretted that the quality of the nomination in a number of cases left much to be desired. The members consider that this may be due partly to the fact that the Secretariat was not able to provide detailed feedback on the nominations, as it had been able to do so for the 2009 through 2011 cycles. The body was nevertheless obliged to conclude that the state parties did not take full advantage of the instructions and suggestions already offered by the subsidiary body in the previous report and by the committee through its decisions. With your permission, Mr. Chairperson, I would like to briefly provide the committee with several examples of these recurrent shortcomings. Once again, the subsidiary body was concerned about the poor linguistic quality of a number of nomination files, unnecessary repetitions, unsupported assertions, and misplaced information. I would like to stress once again, on behalf of the body, its previous appeal to the state to pay careful attention to such technical aspects of the nominations. Such nominations present a substantial obstacle to comprehension and consequently affected the body's substantive evaluation by requiring it to speculate on what the state intends to say. Poor quality of information will also hinder the latter work of the public visibility for the global public. As it did in previous cycles, the subsidiary body also points out the use of inappropriate vocabulary, such as reference to authenticity, purity, world heritage, uniqueness, or exceptional value. These terms are not in line with values and spirit of the 2003 Convention and should be avoided. There are also instances of vocabulary that was inappropriate because it was not conducive to dialogue, or rather had political connotations, to be avoided. Typically, such remarks were by no means essential to the submitting state's argumentation and could have been omitted without any loss, but their inclusion threatened to create misunderstanding or controversies. The body follows numerous past decisions of the committee pointing out that the language that risks inciting tensions or awakening grievance, whether between communities or between states, should be rigorously avoided in nominations. For the purpose of this report, my colleagues of the body emphasize that the states submitting previous referred or withdrawn nominations should be particularly mindful of responding to the concerns of the subsidiary body, or, in the case of referral, the specific remarks of the committee on the criteria that had not been satisfied in the previous cycle. Furthermore, the subsidiary body was asked by the committee to address the question of the nomination on an extended or reduced basis of an element already inscribed. We were presented with only one such case, which received a favorable recommendation. Our limited experience thus does not permit broader reflections at this time. The last of our concern with the presentation of the file centered on the video submitted as part of nomination. The subsidiary body oversees with regret that the subsidiary body observes with regret that a number of videos seem to target tourists or contain narration that have little relation to the content of the nomination. In some cases, the technical quality of the video itself is weak, or it depicts only a limited aspect of the element under nomination, or include only emblematic figures or celebrities. The body encourages states to give greater attention to the quality of the video. Furthermore, it should treat the different aspects of the element in its complexity and capture ordinary members of the community that practice and appreciate the element. Mr. Chairperson, the subsidiary body is convinced that the capacity building is fundamental for improving different aspects of nominations, both in terms of technical presentation and in terms of content. In this regard, the body appreciates UNESCO's global capacity building strategy and is confident that the understanding of the specificity of intangible cultural heritage and its safeguarding should be improved in the coming years, leading, among others, to more successful nominations. This brings me to the end of my report. The body was attempted to synthesize some of our key concerns and advice in the form of provisions that figure into the overall decision 8.8. I hope that I have given an accurate and complete overview of our work, and I thank you, Mr. Chairperson, and my colleague members of the committee for your kind attention.
Thank you, Ms. Aikwa, for this very thorough report. Mesdames et messieurs, y a-t-il des commentaires, des observations, des questions à ces moments-là sur le rapport? J'en vois pas. Bon. Comme je l'avais mentionné, je propose la suspension de l'examen de la décision globale 8 jusqu'au moment où nous aurons examiné l'ensemble des décisions liées aux candidatures. J'invite le président de l'organe subsidiaire, M. Skunti, à présenter les candidatures une à une et le projet de décision. Monsieur le président de l'organe subsidiaire, vous avez la parole.
Merci beaucoup, Monsieur le Président. Nous allons maintenant introduire la première candidature évaluée pour l'inscription éventuelle sur la liste représentative que le comité doit examiner, qui a été présentée par l'Algérie, le pèlerinage annuel au mausolée de Sidi Abdelkader Ben Mohamed, dit Sidi Cheikh. Chaque année, fin juin, des communautés soufis effectuent un pèlerinage de 3 jours au mausolée de Sidi Abdelkader Ben Mohamed dit Sidi Cheikh à El Biad, Sidi Cheikh. Ce pèlerinage renouvelle les liens pacifiques au sein de la confrérie soufie et contribue au développement du soufisme ainsi qu'à la promotion de valeurs communautaires telles que l'hospitalité et de pratiques collectives telles que les hymnes, les récitations du Coran, les danses et les chants profanes. Des festivités comme des jeux d'escrime, des compétitions équestres et des danses viennent compléter les prières et les rituels du pèlerinage. Comme les membres du comité pourront le constater dans le projet de décision, l'organe subsidiaire a conclu lors de son évaluation que la candidature de cet élément démontre que les 5 critères ont été satisfaits. L'organe a trouvé que l'État partie a démontré l'important rôle du pèlerinage de Sidi Cheikh dans sa forme actuelle en tant qu'espace de cohésion sociale qui contribue à renforcer le sentiment d'appartenance des communautés. La participation ainsi que le consentement libre, préalable et éclairé d'un certain nombre de groupes concernés par le pèlerinage de Sidi Cheikh, notamment de la confrérie Cheikhia et des autorités locales, y sont démontrés. Les membres de l'organe subsidiaire ont donc recommandé le pèlerinage annuel au mausolée de Sidi Abdelkader Ben Mohamed dit Sidi Cheikh pour inscription sur la liste représentative. Merci, Monsieur le Président.
Merci, Monsieur Skunti. Ladies and gentlemen, well, it's very good that we begin with a favorable nomination. Our committee members, perhaps we can turn to the decision. Our committee members ready to adopt draft decision 8.8.1 as proposed by the subsidiary body? Yes, we are. Adopted. Congratulations. Okay, I give the floor to the state party for 2 minutes. Algeria.
Merci, Monsieur le Président. L'Algérie souhaite bien sûr remercier bien vivement le comité qui vient de proclamer positivement l'inscription du pèlerinage annuel au mausolée de Sidi Abdelkader Ben Mohamed d'Issi des Chir sur la liste représentative du patrimoine culturel immatériel de l'humanité. Monsieur le Président, cette inscription permettra bien sûr à cet élément une plus grande visibilité, permettra une plus grande visibilité nationale et internationale à cette manifestation complexe, spectaculaire, polysémique. Mais outre cela, cette inscription va provoquer une plus grande visibilité pour tous les pèlerinages de même nature. Et ce n'est pas là la moindre des vertus de cette liste et de cette convention. Cette inscription permettra bien sûr à la communauté de se réapproprier davantage cette pratique, tout comme elle engage les communautés, les détenteurs, les porteurs de ces savoirs et savoir-faire à plus d'implication, mais elle engage aussi l'État et ses institutions. Cette inscription nous stimule et nous encourage parce qu'elle assure la défense de valeurs d'une haute spiritualité par le soufisme qui est l'expression d'un islam confraternel qui célèbre depuis des siècles les valeurs de beauté, d'amour, de solidarité, de respect, d'ouverture, d'acception de l'autre. Cette inscription va stimuler également le vivre ensemble de cette communauté par le développement permanent et régulier du lien social qui unit entre les membres de cette communauté par le rituel, la fête, le partage et le jeu. Et je vous remercie, Monsieur le Président.
Thank you, Algeria, and congratulations. Accept from, I think, on behalf of all the committee members, our vivid congratulations. This element will certainly enrich the list. Let us now proceed to the next nomination. Mr. Chairman of the Subsidiary Body, you have the floor.
Merci beaucoup, Monsieur le Président. La candidature suivante que le comité doit examiner a été présentée également par l'Algérie, conjointement avec le Mali et le Niger. Les pratiques et savoirs liés à l'imzad des communautés touareg de l'Algérie, du Mali et du Niger. La musique de l'imzad, caractéristique des populations touareg, est jouée par les femmes avec un instrument à cordes frottées unique, également connu sous le nom d'imzad. La musicienne place l'instrument sur ses genoux et joue en position assise avec un archet. L'imzad fournit l'accompagnement mélodique des chants poétiques ou populaires, souvent chantés par les hommes lors des cérémonies dans les campements touaregs. Il est fréquemment utilisé pour faire fuir les mauvais esprits et atténuer les souffrances des maladies. La transmission du savoir musical s'effectue oralement selon des méthodes traditionnelles qui favorisent l'observation et l'assimilation. Les membres de l'organe subsidiaire ont estimé que le dossier de candidature satisfait l'ensemble des critères et recommandent donc son inscription sur la liste représentative. Nous saluons la mise en exergue de l'important rôle des femmes touaregs de l'Algérie, du Mali et du Niger dans la détention et la transmission de cette pratique. Les mesures de sauvegarde proposées sont variées et couvrent tant la substance que la gestion de celle-ci. Cependant, nous avons noté un certain déséquilibre dans le détail fourni par chacun des pays, fait qui nous a amené l'État soumissionnaire un suivi dans la mise en œuvre des mesures de sauvegarde et d'en faire état dans leur rapport périodique. Les membres de l'organe ont donc recommandé l'inscription des pratiques et savoirs des communautés touareg de l'Algérie, du Mali et du Niger sur la liste représentative. Merci, Monsieur le Président.
Merci, Monsieur le Président de l'organe subsidiaire. Alors, je me tourne vers les membres du comité. Y a-t-il des commentaires, des questions sur ces projets, sur le rapport? On passe à l'examen du projet de décision qui est en écran. Est-ce qu'on pourrait l'adopter? Je n'en vois pas d'objection. Adopté. Alors, je donne la parole à l'Algérie, le Mali et le Niger.
Merci, Monsieur le Président. Prenant la parole coup sur coup, je voudrais vous faire cas de mon plaisir à remercier de nouveau le comité pour avoir retenu ce dossier relatif aux pratiques et au savoir-faire sur l'IMSAD, qui est un instrument appartenant aux communautés touareg de l'Algérie, du Mali et du Niger. Je voudrais également remercier le Mali et le Niger qui ont bien voulu participer avec nous pour le montage de ce dossier, tout comme je remercie infiniment le secrétariat pour ses remarques pertinentes et de haute compétence. Sans plus tarder, je vais donner la parole à un membre de la communauté touareg, Monsieur Sedir Glahsen, qui est aussi vice-président d'une association et qui va s'adresser à nous dans sa langue. Avant de vous offrir quelques notes jouées par la joueuse Khouta Kaoula, qui est elle-même fille d'une importante praticienne de cette musique dans le Hoga.
تلمرت أملوكال وأنا النسكو نخماديا ونغجيد ينزاد التراث نناغ نكال نناغ مادي نيجير أجر أهقار انت تلني مزاد يموت أكالي وغمدان نسينا ماري تملوكال تانا رأس جمعية مزاد تتوهلت فولاس أو نتي تسودي نسكو نشكاري الدولة انت الدوسة نمدانت نمويا كمتي هرت وانت جمتي هوسين نغا هلوا نغا طاها تاني نيسكو دمغرو نيسكو تلمير تولان ولان
Est-ce que le Mali souhaiterait prendre la parole? Bien sûr.
Oui, Monsieur le Président, merci beaucoup d'avoir donné la parole au Mali. Je voudrais juste dire au nom de mon pays toute la joie que nous éprouvons pour cette inscription qui est un bel exemple de coopération régionale dans l'espace sahélo-saharien, qui, comme vous le savez, connaît actuellement quelques difficultés au plan sécuritaire. Alors, cet instrument, c'est vrai que c'est le Mali et le Niger qui l'ont proposé, et l'Algérie, mais concerne d'autres pays de l'espace sahélo-saharien, je vais citer la Libye, le Tchad et le Burkina Faso. Alors, la nomination, disons l'inscription, vient à point nommé, d'autant qu'elle coïncide avec la création du Centre international pour la sauvegarde du patrimoine immatériel, centre catégorie 2 de l'UNESCO, pour l'Afrique, qui va être basé à Alger. Et aussi, je voudrais insister sur un point important, c'est qu'il faut savoir que le développement est fondé sur les valeurs culturelles. Et cette inscription est donc une opportunité pour adoucir les mœurs et apaiser les cœurs dans le désert qui, comme l'a décrit le chercheur français Delafosse, est un havre de paix. On espère que des gestes comme ça de l'UNESCO pourront contribuer à ramener la paix et la cohésion dans cet espace. Le dernier point, je ne peux pas terminer sans en parler, c'est un hommage mérité à la femme touareg. Et par ricochet, donc, à toutes les femmes du monde qui jouent un rôle cardinal dans l'existence de l'humanité. Je vous remercie.
Merci, le Mali. Je me tourne vers le Niger, s'il souhaiterait prendre la parole. Le Niger.
Merci, Monsieur le Président. Il n'est jamais trop assez de remercier le peuple azerbaïdjan pour sa chaleureuse hospitalité. Je voudrais également présenter mes félicitations au comité, au secrétariat ainsi qu'à l'organe subsidiaire qui ne ménage aucun effort en faveur de la sauvegarde du patrimoine culturel immatériel de l'humanité. Monsieur le Président, le Niger se réjouit de l'inscription sur la liste représentative de l'INSAD, un élément emblématique qui fait la promotion du statut de la femme. C'est pourquoi mon pays s'engage à œuvrer davantage pour la viabilité de cet élément et sa transmission aux générations présentes et futures. Que vive l'INSAD, je vous remercie.
Merci, le Niger. And congratulations once again to the 3 submitting states. This nomination is quite emblematic concerning the recent events that we had in the region, especially in Mali, and is also very emblematic for the gender element, which is one of the global priorities of UNESCO. So once again, congratulations on behalf of the committee. Okay, without further ado, let's turn to the next nomination. Mr. Chairperson of the Subsidiary Body, the floor is yours.
Merci, Monsieur le Président. La candidature suivante que le comité doit examiner à présent a été soumise par l'Autriche, la Haute École d'équitation classique à l'École d'équitation espagnole de Vienne. Dans la Haute École d'équitation classique, le cheval est considéré comme un partenaire plutôt qu'un subordonné, et le dressage est fondé sur l'empathie et la récompense. L'École d'équitation espagnole de Vienne enseigne la dernière phase de la formation d'équitation classique et les petits lipisans sont élevés spécialement pour réaliser des exercices complexes de dressage et de saut. Chaque élève est chargé des soins d'un cheval et reçoit une formation dispensée par des cavaliers expérimentés. Les candidats les plus déterminés peuvent espérer donner une représentation en public lors du quadrille de l'école, qui exige de solides compétences mentales, intellectuelles et comportementales, ainsi que la capacité à représenter l'école. Lors de son évaluation, l'organe subsidiaire a considéré que la candidature démontre que les critères R3 R4 et R5 sont satisfaits, mais que d'après l'information contenue dans le dossier, la candidature ne satisfait pas aux critères R1 et R2. Nous avons apprécié le fait que l'équipe équestre de l'école d'équitation espagnole ait été impliquée dans le processus de candidature et dans l'élaboration de mesures de sauvegarde, ainsi que la manière dont l'État partie a démontré son engagement. Pour le critère R1, l'organe a rencontré des difficultés majeures avec la définition de l'élément. En effet, nous avons eu un long débat autour de ce critère et nous nous sommes trouvés confrontés à plusieurs questions touchant à l'interprétation même du patrimoine culturel immatériel dans l'esprit de la Convention. Nous avons conclu qu'il n'y avait pas dans la candidature d'informations suffisantes ni sur la portée, ni sur l'étendue spécifique de cet élément, ni surtout sur ses fonctions sociales et culturelles au sein de sa communauté, pour nous permettre de conclure que le critère R1 était rempli. Par voie de conséquence, l'organe s'est également interrogé sur la manière dont l'inscription d'un élément jugé comme non clairement défini pourrait contribuer à assurer une visibilité et une prise de conscience de l'importance du patrimoine culturel immatériel en général, ce qui est l'objet du critère R2. La façon dont une éventuelle inscription aurait pu encourager le dialogue entre les communautés et la créativité humaine ne nous a pas non plus apparu clairement au titre de ce même critère. Avec ces deux critères jugés non satisfaits, l'organe n'a pas pu recommander l'inscription de la Haute École d'équitation classique à l'École d'équitation espagnole de Vienne sur la liste représentative à ce stade. Merci, Monsieur le Président.
Merci, Monsieur. Dear colleagues, shall we turn to the draft decision? If you could have them on the screen. We heard that there was a large debate which sounded quite rich and full of nuances, and I think it's somehow reflected in the findings of the subsidiary body. So I see Nicaragua willing to take the floor. Nicaragua. Usted tiene la palabra, que será seguido por la Grecia.
Muchas gracias, señor presidente. Yo he tenido la suerte de ir a Viena y a Austria en diferentes momentos y he podido ver y percibir cómo esta propuesta de Austria contribuye de una manera fehaciente al patrimonio inmaterial cultural de la humanidad. Entonces yo quisiera, si pudiéramos pedirle un poquito más de elaborar a la delegación de Austria sobre cómo ven ellos la naturaleza y el significado cultural que tiene pues este elemento, además cómo son las actividades que ellos realizan, porque yo he sido testigo de muchas de ellas que me parecen muy hermosas, pues entonces quisiera solicitarle a usted que le haga la pregunta a la delegación de Austria. Muchas gracias.
Gracias, señor embajador. Voy a seguir con los miembros del comité antes de pasar la palabra al Estado parte. La Grecia.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I would like to congratulate the Austrian delegation for their very nice and very interesting file that they have nominated. And I would also like to congratulate the subsidiary body for their very thorough examination. My question also comes from personal experience as the question of my Nicaraguan colleague. I've been reading a lot through a very strange coincidence for the Spanish School of Vienna recently, and I would really like to hear the state, the delegation of Austria, to give more ample, some sort of clarification on the criteria that are considered to be not satisfactory by the subsidiary body. Thank you.
Thank you, Greece. I have Albania on my list to be followed by Indonesia. Albania, you have the floor.
Hello to everybody. Since this is the first time I take the floor, please allow me to thank the Azerbaijani government and the Ministry of Culture for organizing this meeting, as well as the UNESCO office for supporting my presence here. And secondly, we welcomed and congratulate Austria for the file submitted on the Spanish horse riding school, and also the evaluation done by the subsidiary body. And we would like, if possible, also to have some more clarification and description on the social function of this element by the state party. Thank you.
Thank you, Albania. Next on my list is Indonesia, to be followed by Egypt. Indonesia, have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We would like to suggest, similar to the previous 3 state committee members, we would like to request the state party, respecting what has been spoken by the chairperson of the subsidiary body in the evaluation, to elaborate a little for us regarding the category R1 and R2, which the subsidiary body is doubtful whether they are fulfilled, specifically regarding this nature and scope of the element and its social function, and also regarding how it promotes dialogue among communities. I also think I recall in 2011 an element which was similar but not identical to this was proposed by France and was inscribed on the representative list. So I would like to also, Indonesia would like to hear from the state party. Thank you.
Thank you, Indonesia. I have Egypt to be followed by Latvia. Egypt, you have the floor.
شكرا سيد الرئيس، والتهنئة للنمسا على تقديم هذا الملف بشكل خاص فيما يرتبط بموضوع الفروسية. فكل من مارس الفروسية أو يحب الفروسية لابد أن يحتفي بهذا الملف. فالفروسية ليست مجرد إنسان وحصان، وإنما مجموعة من التقاليد وأنماط السلوك التي تشترك فيها مجموعات بشرية كثيرة. ومن ثم فأنا أعتقد أن هذا المشروع فعلا يمكن أن يكون نموذجا وأن يعزز الحوار بين الثقافات، خاصة بين المجتمعات التي تهتم بالفروسية باعتبارها تقليدا، وباعتبارها شكلا جماليا، وباعتبارها سلوكا ينعكس على سلوك الناس وأخلاقهم فيما نعرفه من سلوك الفرسان. والحقيقة أنني أنضم إلى زملائي الذين طلبوا أن نتيح الفرصة للنمسا لكي تفصل لنا بعض الشيء وعن وجهة نظرها فيما يرتبط بالمعيارين 1 و2، وأنتهز الفرصة أيضا لأكرر شكري للهيئة التي تناقش هذه المشاريع أو هذه الملفات، لأنها فعلا تثرينا في كل ملف وفي كل مشروع بما يعلمنا وبما يزيدنا معرفة بالعناصر الثقافية المختلفة. شكرا سيد الرئيس.
شكرا المصري. Is that correct? I have Latvia on my list to be followed by Belgium.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Latvian delegation also would like to thank Subsidiary Body for the substantial work evaluating all the nomination files for the representative list. Concerning the nomination submitted by Austria, the draft decision proposed objects to the compliance of the file to criteria 1 and 2. As the objection expressed in the criterion 2 is based on the non-compliance with the criterion 1, so we consider that the core issue in this debate is whether or not the element nominated is to be considered as being intangible cultural heritage. Latvia would like to draw the attention of the committee that the recognition of intangible cultural heritage as such is primarily to be based on the recognition expressed by communities, groups, and in some cases individuals on their sense of cultural heritage. Having said this, we also consider that the history and cultural experience of the respective communities, groups, and individuals need to be considered when evaluating the elements nominated, which leads us to considering also Austrian history and cultural experience when questioning the recognition of intangible cultural heritage in this particular case. Latvia, as already the previous speakers, would also appreciate the possibility to invite the representatives of Austria for explaining the issue of social functions and cultural meanings, as well as the sense of identity connected to this element being nominated. And this question, of course, comes within the limits of the information and considerations already provided within the nomination. Thank you.
Thank you, Latvia. I have Belgium on my list, which is the last one before we give the floor to the State Party. Belgium, you have the floor.
Okay, thank you. Unfortunately, I had not had the chance to visit the hiding school and the performance in Vienna, so I have to base myself on the file, as we all do. And the state members in the subsidiary body have reached the decision in consensus that the information included in the file does not satisfy, among others, the criterion R2. And the form on page 6 of the file, we understand the analysis of the subsidiary body. I thank you.
Thank you, Belgium. I don't have any other committee member on my list, so I think we can turn to the state party now to answer. There was a number of questions, but I think they all, in the sense, revolve on two issues: the social functions and the cultural meanings, and how it promotes dialogue. And I think in this way, the State Party can elaborate on criteria R1 and R2. So, State Party, you have the floor for 2 minutes. Please be concise. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and thank you for all the members who are so interested in our cultural heritage and expressed their concern about our proposal. Let me first emphasize one thing which is of utmost importance for us. We regard this Spanish writing school as a vivid part of our culture. It's, if you have ever been to Vienna, you would know that modifications within this writing school are always discussed in public. We emotionally take part of what's going on in this institution and in this group of practitioners. Only recently we had a huge debate: should women be allowed to become member of this writing school? And we succeeded. And that's after centuries of exclusively man tradition. There had been this adaptation, which clearly shows that it's not a petrified thing, it is something which develops and which adapts to changed situations. What is the nature of our element? It is, we are not concentrating on the performance. We are concentrating on the process, how to achieve this goal. That means the learning process itself is, for us, so important. This is based on the particular relation between rider and horse. It's a partnership between individuals linked in a lifelong learning process. So we are not talking about somebody who commands and somebody who obeys. We are talking about two partners doing something together and learning together. And that's for us the most important element here. That's what we understand by the cultural meaning of it. That is this idea, this very particular relation is communicated within the group of practitioners, and and this is also communicated to like-minded communities, writing schools, as we have already mentioned, have already heard in France, in Spain, and Portugal. And it's also of utmost importance for us that this is also communicated to the public. So it's part of our cultural education to bring people to see this daily work of the writing school and understand what is the specific relation which is for us of utmost importance.
I would like to give another voice from Austria to this element to go more specifically into the questions raised by the honorable delegates of the committee. And
Austria, you already exceeded 3 minutes. If you could be very to the point now, thank you.
Referring to the dialogue among communities, that can be seen from the scale and the scope of the element, which is not only the practitioners, as the subsidiary body has elaborated on. It is on the one hand the practitioners, the writers, and the students and the stable masters and so on. But there is also another community, which is the equestrians, the scientific institutions, where there is very lively, very vivid dialogue among them. And then there is the larger public, and also like the schools children who are brought to get this experience of cultural heritage education. They are brought to this riding school, and it's like an integrated approach. Most of you will know that the historic city of Vienna, where this element is based, is part of World Heritage, and this is a very good example of having an integrated approach also for heritage education of the young people. A few words maybe to the cultural meaning. The scope, as we have said, embraces an important social and cultural function, and tradition gives the communities a very strong sense of identity, and it plays a prominent role in cultural events, bringing together people of all ages and social classes. And it also includes traditional knowledge and craftsmanship, also of course rare and endangered crafts. Furthermore, the tradition enhances ICH and strengthens the awareness among the wider community of its significance, as well as the harmonious relationship between humans and animals. It strengthens the dialogue among communities also practicing similar traditions. And the element also fosters cultural and aesthetic appreciation and mutual respect. As to the social function, experienced riders demonstrate their skills and techniques and share their knowledge with the beginners, always aware of the individual characteristics of each horse and rider. The teaching of the younger people through mentoring by a senior person is characterized by values of mutual respect, help for each other, patience and strong empathy, and in recent times women also have played an important role in transmitting this element. There is a very...
Concluding.
The inscription of this element, as is wanted by R2, would certainly contribute in our mind to raising the awareness of ICH, particularly encouraging intercultural dialogue, respect for close relations between humans, animals, and nature, as well as cultural and also biological diversity. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Austria. Thank you for these more general comments and the answers to the specific questions. As much as we value the dialogue with all the parties, we need to stick to our rules, and I will remind, as I did yesterday, that according to Rule 22.4 of the Rules of Procedure, a state party should not speak to advocate an inclusion in any list. It's only to respond to specific questions. I think I think these answers do address the questions that were raised by the committee members. So that side, I think we can turn to the draft decision. I see that there's no one willing to take the floor at this point, so let's turn to the draft decision that is on the screen. Can we adopt the draft decision 8.8.3? Latvia, you have the floor.
Thank you very much. As we saw that there have been quite intensive debates within the subsidiary body, which also shows that this case that we are examining is not a simple case to decide, particularly on the so substantial criterion as criterion R1. And although the committee has not expressed itself on the upcoming draft decisions, neither on the application in general, the option of referral as such, we would like to invite the committee to consider whether in this particular case, having the debates on the so substantial issue, whether the referral option might be adopted by the committee. Thank you.
Thank you, Latvia. Is there anyone willing to take the floor at this point? I understand that Latvia is suggesting that we could turn to a referral. Do you have an amendment to the draft decision, Latvia?
Thank you. That would mean the amendment for the paragraph 4, instead of decides not to inscribe, would follow decides to refer the nomination of classical horsemanship and the high school of the Spanish Riding School, Jena, to the submitting states and invites to resubmit the nomination to the committee for the examination during a following cycle. Thank you.
Thank you, Latvia. That was quite quick and long, so if you could submit in writing to the Secretariat. If you could submit it in writing to the Secretariat, we can have it reflected on the screen. While Burkina Faso, you have the floor.
Merci bien, Monsieur le Président. Je voudrais en tout cas féliciter l'organe subsidiaire pour la qualité de son rapport et également aussi féliciter donc l'Autriche pour la présentation donc de cette candidature pour inscription sur la liste représentative. J'avoue que j'ai été un peu gêné par quelques interventions tout à l'heure. Je me demande s'il faut qu'on ait une connaissance, une expérience personnelle avec un élément pour pouvoir le connaître, ou est-ce qu'effectivement on s'en tient à la définition du patrimoine immatériel tel que contenu dans les différents documents. Parce que de certaines interventions, j'ai eu l'impression effectivement que c'est leur impression personnelle qui guide les propositions qui sont faites, alors que, comme je crois le Président l'a rappelé au début donc, de la séance de cet après-midi, qu'il fallait s'en tenir à ce qui est contenu dans le dossier de candidature. Et lorsque effectivement j'ai écouté les explications données tout à l'heure par un délégué donc de l'Autriche, effectivement des aspects concernant les fonctions sociales et également la contribution de l'élément à la visibilité donc, du patrimoine culturel immatériel en général apparaissent. Mais j'avoue que j'ai parcouru le dossier plusieurs fois et si je dois m'en tenir au dossier, effectivement, nulle part dans le dossier ces aspects-là n'apparaissent. Donc je me demande finalement qu'est-ce qu'on évalue alors. Est-ce que c'est notre expérience personnelle de l'élément donc, qui doit nous guider ou bien est-ce que c'est le dossier qui nous est présenté? Merci bien, Monsieur le Président.
Thank you, Burkina Faso. I have Grenada to be followed by Nicaragua. Grenada, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Chairperson.
My delegation would like to share the comments made now by Burkina Faso. I think that we should always recall and remember our decisions and our working methods, and to stick to the information that can be provided in the file and not to personal impressions, as was said by the distinguished representative of Burkina Faso, because we don't have the chance, all of us, to visit all the places where elements for inscriptions exist. But because this is our main function here, is to examine the files and to decide upon the information that is provided to us. I would like also to say that to compare one element with another element already described a few years ago is not a good reference, because each element is specific, and we should not compare if it was inscribed or not inscribed, whether it was inscribed or not inscribed. Finally, Mr. Chairman, in case the committee accepts to refer the file, I would like also to suggest to the state party to review the video film, because I saw it with great interest, but what I saw is only the result, only the performance of the horses and the riders, and nothing about the exchange and the whole spirit of the intangible cultural heritage. So I think that it would be a good opportunity for them to review it also. Thank you.
Thank you, Grenada. I also agree with you that perhaps a narrative in the video would have helped us to understand better as a supporting material to the dossier. I have Nicaragua and Indonesia that have already taken the floor before during the debate, who I understand were sort of favored to this file. And I have not yet heard opposition to Latvia's proposal, so I think we are perhaps going toward a direction here for adoption of this decision. Nicaragua, very quickly, if you can summarize your points, you have the floor.
Con mucho gusto, señor presidente. Como hubo una alusión directa a experiencias personales, voy a responder directamente. Cuando yo leí el expediente, pude entender, basado en mi experiencia personal, qué era lo que quería decir el Estado proponiente, en este caso en Austria. De tal manera que yo le encontré una lógica, ¿verdad? No soy ningún irresponsable y pido respeto de todas las delegaciones con relación a la opinión de cada Estado miembro. En tal sentido, yo quisiera apoyar la proposición que ha hecho Letonia. Muchas gracias.
Gracias, Nicaragua. Indonesia, muy rápidamente usted tiene la palabra.
Thank you. We appreciate the explanation given by Austria. At the same time, we also respect the evaluation done by the subsidiary body, and therefore Indonesia would like to support the proposal by Latvia. Thank you.
Thank you, Indonesia. I have Egypt, very quickly.
شكرا سيد الرئيس. بدء فأنا أدعم مقترح لاتفيا، ولي تعليق صغير بعيدا عن ما يسمى بالتجربة الشخصية والرؤية الشخصية إلى آخره. أظن ما فهمته من الملف هو الحفاظ على تقاليد الكلاسيكية أو التقاليد الخاصة بالفروسية. هذا هو ما فهمته من الملف. وجوانب النقص التي تمت الإشارة إليها يمكن استيفاؤها. نحن ليس لدينا مدرسة الفروسية، لكن لنا تقاليد في الفروسية. والفروسية يا سيدي ليست رجلا وحصانا أو فارسا وحصانا، وإنما هي تقاليد وسلوك وفكرة ورؤية ومعرفة تنتقل من جيل إلى جيل، علاقة بين الفارس والفرس، وعلاقة بين الفارس والفرس والجماعة التي تحتضن هذه التقاليد وتقدر الفارس من أجل الفروسية، وبالتالي فهي داخلة في التراث الثقافي غير المادي. ثانيا، المسألة لا تحتاج إلى رؤية شخصية أو تجربة شخصية، لأني أزعم أن كل الموجودين هنا يعرفون ماذا تعني الفروسية، لأن لا يوجد مجتمع ليست لديه تقاليد فروسية، وهذا موجود في الشعر وفي التراث الإنساني لكافة الشعوب. شكرا سيد الرئيس.
شكرا جزيلا Nasri. Okay, let's try to do this quick. We have a proposal from Latvia that is supported so far by Nicaragua, Indonesia, and Egypt. Who wishes to support this amendment? Let's do a quick show of hands. Okay, I have Greece, I have Uganda, Belgium, Egypt, Indonesia is already reflected there, Namibia, Nicaragua, Uruguay, Kyrgyzstan, okay, just before, I think we have so many, how many now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, I think Latvia, I think your proposal gathers support of, large support from the room. I just want you to know what we are adopting, because last year the same committee, the same composition of this committee adopted a decision, which is decision 7-11, in which requested the subsidiary body to make a limited and coherent use of the referral, so that it only applied to cases concerning lack of technical detail. So when you're proposing this, this is what you're saying. There is lack of technical detail. So if we're all on the same page, I think we can perhaps approve the entire decision as a whole. I see no objection, so the whole draft decision is adopted. As this is not a case for inscription, I will not give the floor again to the submitting state party, and we'll continue to the next nomination. Monsieur le Président de l'organe subsidiaire, vous avez la parole.
Merci beaucoup, Monsieur le Président. Nous passons maintenant, Monsieur le Président, à la candidature présentée par le Bangladesh, l'art traditionnel du tissage jamdani. Le jamdani est une forme de tissage à la main pratiquée par des artisans de la région de Dhaka qui demande beaucoup de temps et de travail. Les tissus en coton extra fins sont renommés pour la richesse de leurs motifs directement créés sur le métier à tisser. Les femmes bengalis portent des saris en jamdani comme symbole d'identité, de dignité et de reconnaissance au quotidien ou lors de célébrations. Les motifs traditionnels et les techniques de tissage sont transmis par des maîtres tisserands à leurs disciples ainsi qu'au sein des familles dans la communauté des tisserands. Lors de son évaluation, l'organe subsidiaire a considéré que la candidature démontrait que tous les critères avaient été satisfaits. Toutefois, voulant répondre à une certaine inquiétude sur les possibles effets négatifs des aspects commerciaux gravitant autour de l'élément, l'organe a souhaité inviter l'État soumissionnaire à s'assurer que les producteurs de jamdani soient les principaux bénéficiaires de sa commercialisation. Il recommande donc que l'art traditionnel du tissage jamdani soit inscrit sur la liste représentative. Merci, Monsieur le Président.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Okay, we have another positive recommendation from the subsidiary body. I think we can turn straight to the draft decision that is shown on the screen. I turn to the committee. Can we adopt the draft decision as contained in document 8, the draft decision 8.8.4? Adopted. Okay, Bangladesh, you have the floor for 2 minutes.
Respected chairperson, on behalf of the government and people of Bangladesh delegation, wishes to express our warmest thanks and profound gratitude to you, Mr. Chairman, the subsidiary body, and all the committee members for approving the nomination of Bangladesh under the title Traditional Art of Jamdani Weaving. The inscription of Jamdani will greatly inspire the people of Bangladesh to preserve and protect this invaluable craftsmanship that has been handed down to us by our forefathers. The inscription of Jamdani is a recognition to the ingenuity of thousands of craftspeople in Bangladesh. It will also reinforce the national identity, pride and dignity of millions of users of Jamdani, in particular women within and outside Bangladesh. Bangladesh delegation would like to assure that the Intergovernmental Committee that will abide by the stipulations of paragraph 116 and 117 of the operational directives concerning commercialization of the intangible cultural heritage, and in particular to ensure the producers are its principal beneficiaries. Now, with the kind indulgence of the committee, my colleagues, Ms. Shahida Khatun, will make a very short presentation of Jamdani, the most coveted dress material of Bengali women. Thank you all.
Not bad.
Thank you very much, Bangladesh. And on behalf of the committee, congratulations for this inscription that certainly enriches the representative list. Let's turn now to the next nomination. Mr. Chairperson of the Subsidiary Body, the floor is yours.
Merci, Monsieur le Président. La candidature suivante que le comité doit examiner à présent a été soumise par la Belgique, la pêche aux crevettes à cheval à Oost-Duinkerque. Je m'excuse si je ne prononce pas très bien Oost-Duinkerque. À Oost-Duinkerque, les pêcheurs à cheval tirent un filet dans l'eau pour attraper les crevettes. Une bonne connaissance de la mer, une bande de sable adaptée et une relation de confiance avec le cheval sont essentielles. Cette tradition procure à la communauté un fort sentiment d'identité collective et joue un rôle central dans les événements sociaux et culturels, en particulier la fête de la crevette qui dure 2 jours. 12 familles exercent la pêche aux crevettes, chacune avec sa spécialité. Les connaissances sont transmises de génération en génération. Les pêcheurs expérimentés enseignent les techniques de pêche aux débutants. Lors de son évaluation, l'organe subsidiaire a considéré que la candidature démontre que l'ensemble des critères a été satisfait. Nous avons apprécié particulièrement la manière dont cette candidature témoigne de la contribution du patrimoine culturel immatériel au développement durable, à travers une relation étroite entre les pêcheurs, les chevaux et la nature. L'organe a aussi apprécié la transversalité des mesures de sauvegarde proposées et l'implication de nombreux acteurs locaux et nationaux. Les membres de l'organe ont souhaité mentionner cette candidature parmi celles qui pourraient servir de modèle et de source d'inspiration à d'autres États parties et par conséquent recommandent que la pêche aux crevettes à cheval à Oost-Duinkerque soient inscrites sur la liste représentative. Merci, Monsieur le Président.
Thank you very much. Now we have again the positive recommendation by the subsidiary body, and therefore we can move to adopt the decision in a whole. Adopted. Thank you. Congratulations to Belgium, and we give the floor to the host country.
The Belgian delegation would like to thank the committee for its decision, and we also would like to thank the subsidiary body for mentioning our nomination file as a good example. I would like to transmit as well a message from the mayor of Kokzijde Oost-Duinkerke, who couldn't be here, but he actually wants you all to let me read the following message. On behalf of the fishermen community, together with the City Council of Kokzijde Oost-Duinkerke, the Mayor would like to express his pride and gratitude for the inscription of horseback shrimp fishermen of Oost-Duinkerke on the representative list of intangible cultural heritage. The City Council is also looking for new forms of cooperation on national and international level, and will be glad to share its knowledge and experiences in relation to intangible safeguarding with other countries and other partners. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Belgium, and congratulations again for inscription. With the withdrawal by Bolivia of its nomination as reflected in document ad number 2, our work continues with the nomination corresponding to the draft decision 8.8.7. So, Mr. Chairperson, the floor is yours.
Merci beaucoup, Monsieur le Président. Nous allons changer de continent. Nous allons en Amérique latine avec la candidature suivante présentée par le Brésil. Círio de Nazaré, le cierge de Notre-Dame de Nazareth à Belém, dans l'état de Pará. Le festival de Círio de Nazaré rend hommage à Notre-Dame de Nazareth. Le deuxième dimanche d'octobre, une image sur bois de Notre-Dame est transférée de la cathédrale de la Sé jusqu'à l'esplanade du sanctuaire au cours de l'une des plus grandes processions religieuses du monde. De très nombreuses personnes viennent de tout le Brésil pour participer à ces festivités, où se mélangent sacré et profane, reflétant le caractère multiculturel de la société brésilienne. Tandis que les dévots construisent des hôtels et accueillent les visiteurs, les enfants accompagnent leurs parents aux festivités, assurant ainsi la transmission de ce patrimoine. Lors de son évaluation, l'organe subsidiaire a considéré que la candidature démontre que les critères R1, R2, R4 et R5 sont satisfaits. Cependant, d'après l'information contenue dans le dossier, l'organe subsidiaire a considéré que la candidature ne satisfait pas au critère R3. Nous avons apprécié la diversité culturelle et les croyances qui sont représentées par ce festival, ainsi que les avantages qu'une éventuelle inscription de cet élément pourrait avoir pour la visibilité du patrimoine immatériel et pour le dialogue interculturel. L'organe subsidiaire a aussi remarqué la capacité de ce festival d'attirer un grand nombre de personnes et par conséquent, notre inquiétude est aussi liée à cet aspect. Cependant, nous avons estimé qu'il n'y avait dans la candidature aucune mention des mesures de sauvegarde visant à limiter les menaces et les dangers potentiels sur cet élément, suite à son éventuelle inscription et à une augmentation importante des participants. Toujours concernant ce critère R3, l'organe a considéré que la candidature n'explicite pas la manière dont les communautés ont été impliquées dans l'élaboration et la planification des mesures de sauvegarde proposées, ni comment elles seraient impliquées dans leur future mise en œuvre. Avec le critère R3 non satisfait, nous n'avons donc pas pu recommander que le Cirio de Nazareth, le cierge de Nazareth de Notre-Dame, le cierge de Notre-Dame de Nazareth à Belém, dans l'état de Para, soit inscrit sur la liste représentative à ce stade. Merci, Monsieur le Président.
Thank you for efficiently summarizing the situation. So the floor is open for the member states now. Are committee members ready to adopt? No, I see the Nicaragua delegations apply. Thank you.
Muchas gracias, señor presidente. Mis disculpas por tomar nuevamente la palabra, pero la verdad que para mi país el tema del patrimonio cultural es sumamente importante y no vamos a dejar de expresar nuestras opiniones bajo ninguna circunstancia. En primer lugar, quisiéramos felicitar al Estado de Brasil por la candidatura sometida a consideración de nosotros sobre este trabajo y esta participación de la población, y luego de haber examinado detenidamente el expediente de la candidatura del Cirio de Nazaret, creemos que hay una amplia participación de la comunidad depositaria en el proceso de elaboración de la candidatura de esta manifestación tan importante que efectivamente podemos notar que tiene una fuerte vitalidad. Por esta razón, principalmente quisiéramos, con su venia y a través de usted, que le pudiéramos presentar a la delegación de Brasil qué consideraciones planteó la comunidad depositaria acerca de las amenazas o de las medidas de salvaguardia de la misma comunidad y que van a considerar realizando, ya que nosotros consideramos de que vale la pena que esta manifestación sea incluida en la lista representativa. Muchas gracias, señor presidente.
Thank you very much. Greece, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. On almost the same vein as my Nicaraguan colleague spoke before, having read the file, I realized that this is a very complicated element that we are talking here about. This is a religious festivity followed by lots of other intangible cultural heritage elements that go together with it. Things that have to do with craftsmanship, things that have to do with culinary traditions of the people. So in this very complex element, maybe the submitting state could elaborate more on what is exactly needed to be considered as safeguarding measures. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Azerbaijan.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I have some arguments against the draft decision of the subsidiary body on the criteria 3. If you allow me, I will give my comments. First of all, in the draft decision, it is expressed the concern that there are no not demonstrated the measures which would mitigate the potential threats to the element, and that community involvement is not demonstrated. First of all, I would like to draw your attention to the fact which was stated in the file, the nomination file, and we know this, that Brazilian, as many countries of Latin America, they demonstrate very strong devotion to the Virgin Mary. And in the file, it is first, perhaps the most important statement is that the element is not under the threat of disappearing. That is which I think that we should take it as the ruling argument. then there are enough arguments which show that there are no serious threats for this element, and we see it in the file. And I would like also to draw your attention to some moments in the file. I will just read it here. That when the concern about the participation of the community in the measures, it is also can be removed by the statement that the state party acts as a mediator in the dialogue between the community, local government, and institutions involved into the implementation of the element. It means that that is the community itself and the local regional organization who implement these measures, not the state itself, but state party is just a mediator. So that is why I think that the argument that the community is not involved in implementation of this measure is perhaps perhaps it was misinterpreted. So that is, and there are enough also moments which I highlighted with especially to read here if I have enough time.
No, sorry.
Not okay, I would like just to draw your attention to the point 2. Yes, safeguarding measure proposed. Point 3. 3 and the last paragraph as an element recognized as cultural heritage and what it will bring to the creator and bearer of such element. I would like you to take into consideration that such information is included in this file. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. It's clear. China, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The Chinese delegation appreciates the relevant action and operations Brazil has taken in safeguarding the nominated element. It appears that, according to the consultative body, this nomination provides no information on safeguarding measures to mitigate potential threats and didn't demonstrate the community involvement in the described public information. We just wish that Mr. Chairman could kindly give Brazil an opportunity to clarify in this regard. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Kyrgyzstan.
Thank you. Based on the nomination file, we can see that currently a lot of people have already participating in this event, in preserving this element, in activating this element. So the question would be about the role of communities in mitigating potential threats to the elements. And yeah, that's all. And many points which we would like to tell were already expressed by the distinguished delegation of Azerbaijan. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Grenada, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My delegation wants to give a full support to Brazil and to say that I believe that at this point this initiative has not been approved by the subsidiary committee body. However, I believe in terms of putting the necessary mechanisms in place for security purposes and safety would be implemented once it becomes a national event. And this is why Mr. Chairman Grenada gives its full support.
Thank you very much. Madagascar.
Merci, Monsieur le Président. Donc, par rapport au critère 3, Tout d'abord, je voudrais remercier l'organe subsidiaire pour ces travaux d'évaluation et je tiens aussi à féliciter l'État soumissionnaire, le Brésil, donc pour cet élément. Donc, à propos du critère 3, je voudrais apporter des remarques. Bien sûr, il a été dit qu'aucune information n'est fournie sur les mesures de sauvegarde visant à limiter les menaces potentielles sur cet élément, en particulier celles pouvant résulter de son éventuelle inscription. Donc, à la lumière du dossier de Brésil, bien sûr, ils ont mentionné que les biens culturels tels que les jouets en mérite donc présentent un problème parce que les jeunes créateurs ne l'utilisent plus comme un de subsistance, ce qui fait regresser la pratique elle-même. Or, d'après toujours donc le formulaire qui a été présenté par l'État soumissionnaire, nous pourrions bien voir donc dans le chapitre 3 2i qu'il y a déjà des activités de développement qui ont été menées, qui ont été entreprises par le Brésil par l'intermédiaire de cadres de programmes de culture vivante du ministère de la Culture, donc qui prend en compte donc la production de jouets, d'accessoires et souvenirs en bois de myrtille. D'un. Et de deux, donc toujours dans les mesures de sauvegarde proposées, il a été dit aussi dans le 2i que le gouvernement donc s'engage déjà à améliorer les conditions de sécurité pendant les fêtes. Pour cet élément aussi, nous donc estimons que le critère R3 donc a été rempli par le Brésil. Merci, Monsieur le Président.
Thank you very much. Belgium, please.
Thank you. We appreciate the proposal by Brazil. We have a number of questions. We were very surprised to read on page 5 about the list of World Intangible Cultural Heritage, which surprised us. The second point is on page 7, 3b1. In the box there, we also did not find any specific measures related to the threat to the element's viability after the inscriptions. And we've looked for measures, but we did not find it. And a third element which interests us is the mentioning of the state party acting as a mediator. And this is an unusual phrase, and perhaps we would like some explanation on how they see this role and what they will do. Thank you.
Thank you. No more interventions from the committee members. So I would like to give the floor to our Brazilian delegation to respond to the questions which had been put.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you for all the committee members that took the floor. At the outset, we should also like to thank the subsidiary body because it called us for the responsibility for providing good dossiers, and we thank you for that, for reminding us of that, and because this is really important. Actually, some of the initial questions I think were somehow answered during the debate, as of, for example, the threats for this element and participation of the community. We must understand that the main threat to this element has no menace for disappearing or for its transmission or practice. Because of the size of the element, it's perhaps security is the main issue, security and accessibility. And this you will find, Mr. Chairman, on page 7, when we clearly state that the necessity to improve the security conditions. On this point, I'll take the opportunity to answer Belgium with regard to potential threats after the inscription, and because of the visibility. I think this is indeed the main threat that we are addressing. The safeguarding measure we're addressing in the dossier. It's exactly security and accessibility, not only on the streets of Berlin, but also on the rivers that lead to the city, because there's also the procession comes from the rivers. The greatest threat to visibility actually happened this year when the Pope came to Brazil. He declared that he was devoted to Our Lady of Nazareth, and we had a boom of individuals going to that region, from 1.5 million last year. This year we had more than 2 million, and I hardly think that even the inscription on this list will bring more visibility than actually a declaration from the Pope for the protections of the Syrian. With regards to the craftsmanship of Greece, I think Madagascar in a way already answered this question. It's on page 6, the safeguarding measures that are being proposed with workshops for the transmission and especially regarding the memory of all this practice that is associated with the main element. With regard to what Belgium has said on page 5, this is a mistranslation of the representative list, but I think you can understand that we're not talking about the World Heritage List, but the Intangible Heritage Convention here. So I think from the context you can understand. It's just a mistranslation. For the question of the state being the mediator, we must understand that in Brazil, which is a federal state, you have different levels of government. So you have the local government, you have the state government, you have the federal government. In this case, the federal government, who has registered internally in the national registry, is the mediator as the entity that does the mediation with the churches, the local organized communities in their NGOs, the local government, the state government, also in the case of for security measures with armed forces and the police, and also for giving the resources for partnerships that are made with NGOs and other levels of government. So these are the many measures, safeguarding measures that we are proposing in the dossier. And just a last point, that these measures that we're being implemented for 12 years now in Brazil, and they have costed about $500,000 so far. So it's an ongoing safeguarding process. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much. I think that the Brazilian delegation gave us a full report on the answering the questions. I think that we have to pass to the discussion of the draft. As far as I understand, Nicaragua proposed the draft amendment, so I would like to have it on the screen.
Muchas gracias, señor presidente. Concreto, para evitar pérdidas de tiempo. Concretamente, la propuesta de Nicaragua es la siguiente: eliminar el actual párrafo, eliminar el actual R3 completamente, ¿verdad? De tal manera que se incluya en el capítulo 2 de CIDE, y sustituirlo por el siguiente texto. Lo voy a leer en inglés para que sea más fácil. The safeguarding measures aimed at enhancing knowledge transmission, promotion and memory of the element, given the size of the celebration, measures of security and accessibility are put place to guarantee the safety of the festivities. Y por consiguiente, en el punto número 4, donde dice decide not to inscribe, decide inscribe. Vea que esa es la propuesta concreta de Nicaragua. Muchas gracias, señor presidente.
Thank you. What are the opinions? Do we follow? Do we support the proposals given by Nicaragua? Azerbaijan, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Azerbaijan delegation supports the proposal of Nicaragua. Thank you.
Thank you. Indonesia?
Indonesia supports the proposal of Nicaragua.
Thank you. Madagascar?
Madagascar appuie aussi cette proposition.
Greece.
Greece also supports the proposal.
Kyrgyzstan.
Kyrgyzstan does support the proposal of Nicaragua, Azerbaijan, and other countries. Thank you.
Thank you. So, Latvia.
Thank you. We also would like to support the proposal. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other views? I think Uganda.
Chairperson, Uganda supports all the other states who are supporting the proposal.
Thank you very much. Grenada. Thank you. As far as I understand, there is nearly unanimous understanding that we are close to the decision to support the new version of the draft, inscribing this file into the heritage list. I don't see any objections. Congratulations. Approved. Please, the floor is given to Brazilian delegation.
If I can speak, je souhaiterais remercier les membres du comité intergouvernemental pour l'ensemble du débat sur la candidature présentée par le Brésil et faire quelques remarques. Quando nous accordons la priorité de la procession du Círio de Nazaré pour être inclus sur la liste représentative du patrimoine culturel immatériel, nous avons pensé à offrir au monde un portrait plus pluraliste du Brésil, qui compte déjà 3 éléments sur la liste, un référent au peuple autóchtone, expressão oral et graphique de Wayampi, et 2 autres faisant allusion aux afrodescendants, le samba de roda do Recôncavo et le frevo, symbolisant toute la jolie du peuple brésilien. Le Círio de Notre-Dame de Nazaré a été reconnu comme un patrimoine culturel au Brésil en octobre de 2004, devenant le premier bien inscrit dans les livres de célébration. La politique de la sauvegarde du patrimoine culturel immatériel au Brésil est fondée sur les actions d'identification, de reconnaissance et de soutien au développement durable du patrimoine culturel matériel. Dans le cas du Círio de Notre-Dame de Nazaré, il y a 12 ans que l'Institut du patrimoine historique et artistique national du Brésil, IFAM, travaille en collaboration avec la communauté et les comités organisateurs de cette célébration. Une manifestation à la fois qui anime et touche environ de 2 millions de personnes à chaque année de toutes les races, les riches et les pauvres. Tout cela, peu importe, qui se déplace à la ville de Belém, au nord du Brésil. Tous les croyants dans les miracles qui est à la fois à Notre-Dame de Nazaré. Cette manifestation, qui est forte et continue à croire, a besoin de soutien de l'État pour des questions de sécurité et d'accessibilité. Et maintenant, ils ont leur propre mécanisme pour la promotion de la sauvegarde de ces éléments, qui nécessitent seulement de suivi des organismes de patrimoine culturel. Et c'est là le profil d'éléments que le comité vient d'inscrire aujourd'hui sur la liste représentative du patrimoine culturel matériel. Merci.
Thank you very much, and once more congratulations to our Brazilian delegation. So let us proceed to the draft decision 8.8. Mr. Chairperson of the subsidiary body, please, the floor is yours.
Merci beaucoup, Monsieur le Président. Nous passons maintenant à la candidature soumise par la Chine. Le Zhuchuan chinois, connaissance et pratique du calcul mathématique au boulier. Le Zhuchuan chinois est une méthode traditionnelle ancienne et respectée de calcul mathématique au moyen d'un boulier. En déplaçant des boules le long de tiges, ces praticiens peuvent faire des additions, des soustractions des multiplications, des divisions, des multiplications exponentielles, calculer des racines et faire des équations plus compliquées. Le Zhuchuan a été transmis de génération en génération au moyen de modèles traditionnels d'enseignement oral et d'auto-apprentissage. Après une formation sommaire, les débutants peuvent faire des calculs rapides, tandis que les praticiens chevronnés peuvent gagner généralement en agilité d'esprit. Le Zhuchuan est très répandu dans la vie chinoise et est un symbole important de la culture traditionnelle et de l'identité chinoise. Je voudrais rappeler, Monsieur le Président, aux membres du comité, que cette candidature vous a été présentée lors de la 6e session du comité à Bali, en Indonésie, et a été renvoyée à l'État soumissionnaire pour information additionnelle sur le critère R5. Je précise également que l'organe a évalué la totalité du dossier qui a été entièrement retravaillé par l'État soumissionnaire et non pas uniquement les informations relatives aux critères qui n'avaient pas été satisfaits lors de l'examen à Bali, à savoir le critère R5. L'organe a été cette fois estimé que tous les critères sont satisfaits. L'organe a apprécié particulièrement l'adaptation d'un objet qui a des milliers d'années d'usage aux besoins de la vie contemporaine. Concernant le critère R5, qui avait préalablement posé problème au comité, l'organe a pu constater, grâce aux informations additionnelles apportées par la Chine, que cet élément est inclus dans l'inventaire et que celui-ci est bien élaboré avec la participation des communautés et mis à jour régulièrement conformément aux articles 11 et 12 de la Convention. L'organe recommande donc que le Zhuchuan chinois, connaissance et pratique du calcul mathématique au boulier, soit inscrit sur la liste représentative. Merci, Monsieur le Président.
Thank you very much. So, any questions, maybe, to the delegation? I don't see any. So, I would like you to consider the nomination of China. Thank you very much. The floor is given to the Chinese delegation, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Honorable Chairman, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the delegation of China, I'd like to thank the committee, the subsidiary body, the Secretariat for your tremendous efforts and excellent contributions towards the examination of all the nomination files. China applauds the committee's decision to inscribe Chinese Zhuchuan knowledge and practice of arithmetic calculation through the abacus on the representative list. As you may know, with the social and technological development, most of the Asian calculation methods of the world are disappearing, while Zhuchuan still plays an important role in people's daily life and developing children's intelligence. As an important legacy of mathematics and cultural tradition, Zhuchuan has become a symbol of cultural identity among Chinese people. China believes that the inscription of this time-honored calculation method and traditional knowledge will contribute towards awareness raising of the significance of safeguarding ICH, particularly among the young generations who live in today's digital era. Furthermore, the inscription will give impetus to strengthening local, national, and international cooperation for the safeguarding of intangible cultural heritage, especially within the domains of traditional knowledge and skills. As one of Chinese Zhuchuan oral formula goes, divide 1 by 2 equals 0.5, which means shared responsibility and obligation. Mr. Chairman, here I can assure you that Chinese government at all levels will honor our due responsibility for the enhancement of the element and to continue working with UNESCO and other state parties for the safeguarding of the ICH with respect for and proof of the traditional bearers and practitioners of this kind of living heritage. China will, in line with our Intangible Cultural Heritage Law, support and supervise the whole process of implementation of 2003 Convention and offer all the necessary assistance to promoting ICH in general and for enhancing Zhusuan in particular. Ladies and gentlemen, every Chinese knows such a proverb, an abacus in everybody's mind. It means that people know what they are doing, referring to the organized planning on their agendas. Today, we also have the presence of Madame Su Jiansu, the Vice President of China's Abacus and Mental Arithmetic Association, and Ms. Liu Qingying, the representative of Zhusuan bearers. Now they will share with us very briefly what they have in their mind at this moment. Madame Su, please.
在保护措施的实施过程中，中国珠算心算协会将不遗余力地把重点放在遗产实践传承可行性的策略上，为相关社区群体和个人施展他们的作用和创造力营造空间。
Madame Su says, on behalf of the community and groups concerned, I here assure the committee that in the implementation of the proposed safeguarding measures, the Chinese Abacus and Mental Arithmetic Association will spare no efforts to focus on developing feasible strategies for allowing communities, groups, or individuals concerned to exercise their own roles and creativities. Now the bearer of the abacus.
On behalf of bearers, teachers, and senior coaches of Zhusuan, I'm lucky enough to be here to express our gratitude to the community. We will do our best to teach knowledge of abacus and mental arithmetic in training basis through collaboration with vocational schools, primary and secondary schools, as well as kindergartens, and discover and cultivate promising young talents so as to ensure the intergenerational transmission of Chinese Zhusuan.
And the bearer of the Zhusuan, I think a little bit overwhelmed with the emotion. And thank you all. Thank you once again.
Thank you very much, and again our congratulations goes to China. As far as Croatia withdrew its nomination, and it was reflected in the document, we are passing to discussion of the draft 8.10. The decision concerns the file Mediterranean diet. Since Morocco is one of the submitting states of the multinational nomination, I will ask the Vice Chair of the Subsidiary Body, Mr. Ajibola from Nigeria, to present it to us. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The Mediterranean diet involves a set of skills, knowledge, rituals, symbols, and traditions concerning crops, harvesting, fishing, animal husbandry, conservation, processing, cooking, and particularly the sharing and consumption of food. Eating together is a foundation of cultural identity and continuity of communities throughout the Mediterranean basin. The Mediterranean diet emphasizes values of hospitality, neighborliness, intercultural dialogue, and creativity, and plays a vital role in cultural spaces, festivals, and celebrations, bringing together people of all ages, conditions, and social classes. During this examination, the subsidiary body concluded that information included in nomination dossier demonstrates that all 5 criteria are satisfied. It is to be noted that the extended nomination has been completely revised by all submitting states, both newcomers and original members, as expected in the case of such submission of an extended nomination. The body considers the nomination establishes that the Mediterranean diet provides a sense of belonging, sharing for those who live in the Mediterranean basin. Moreover, the body welcomed this nomination as a good example of international cooperation, given that the file was presented by 7 state parties and the proposed intercommunity projects as part of the safeguarding measures. I, on behalf of the subsidiary body, have the honor and privilege, therefore, to recommend that the Mediterranean diet be inscribed on the representative list. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So, as far we have the proposal to inscribe the Mediterranean diet into the list of the intangible heritage. I don't see any objections, especially I consider that all of us like this cuisine very much. So, can we approve? Approve. Congratulations. So, on behalf of this file, which delegation will have a floor? There are some new countries which are Portugal, Cyprus, Croatia. Portugal, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairperson, distinguished members of the committee. Let me start by greeting the Intergovernmental Committee for the Safeguarding of the Intangible Cultural Heritage, the delegates present in this session, and the government of Azerbaijan for the excellent organization of our session. Portugal has ratified in 2008 the Convention for the Safeguarding of the Intangible Cultural Heritage and has been highly committed in achieving its goals, sharing all other countries the concerns about the protection of local cultures. The Mediterranean diet represents a common civilization heritage that includes countries based both geographically and culturally by our common sea. Its particular features are at the origin of common similarities that a group of countries are proud to share and protect. It represents a set of skills, knowledge, rituals, symbols and traditions, ranging from the landscape to the table. This multinational nomination shares and enhances what is shared in the diversity of the regional expressions of the Mediterranean diet. We do believe that is a good example of how countries from different regions may strengthen the unity among national and regional identities. The Portuguese representative community, Tavira, located in the south of the country, in Algarve, is at the crossroads of ancient civilizations, all of them having contributed to build the cultural landscape as we know it today. We would like to state our total openness to the extension to our state parties that share the Mediterranean culture to this nomination, beyond the 7 countries that are now subscribing it, in a spirit of intercultural dialogue and defense of the world's cultural diversity. We would like to thank Croatia, Cyprus, Greece, Italy, Morocco, and Spain for the good collaboration and teamwork. Finally, we couldn't forget the support of the members and institutions that have worked in the Interministerial Commission that prepared this nomination in Portugal, and also the support from civil society, farmers, fishermen, universities and schools, health professionals, and several culture associations, without whom the success of the inscription wouldn't be possible. I invite you to all to visit Portugal and visit Tavira. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. We can also give the floor to Cyprus if they want.
Thank you.
I don't see.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, please.
It is my privilege and honor to address the committee on this happy occasion on behalf of the delegation of Cyprus. And I hope you all enjoyed the traditional sweet called chouchoukos, distributed earlier, which consists of grape juice and almonds. The Mediterranean diet involves a wide range of agricultural, fishing, processing and culinary practices or skills unavoidably linked to social events, religious festivals and traditional celebrations determined by the seasonal calendar. Foremost, the Mediterranean diet is a unique lifestyle closely connected with the Mediterranean climate and landscape and manifested through social gatherings which constitute the active expression of hospitality, conviviality, intergenerational transmission and intercultural dialogue. This generous sharing of food and amiability has been a common trait of cultural continuity and identity for all Mediterranean people for many centuries now. The concomitant pride, the inscription of the Mediterranean diet on the representative list of the intangible cultural heritage will bring both to the communities involved and the Mediterranean people in general, will certainly solidify the element's current visibility and will constitute an incentive for the younger generations to keep this tradition alive. Moreover, the inscription will encourage Mediterranean communities to join forces for the further safeguarding and promotion of intangible cultural heritage at large. I would like to thank the delegations of all the countries participating in this nomination for our excellent collaboration, particularly the delegation of Portugal for undertaking the coordination of the preparation of the candidature file. I would be remiss if I did not take the opportunity to express my sincere thanks to the Secretariat for their invaluable suggestions that enabled us to prepare a strong nomination, and to the committee members for their support. Last but not least, our gratitude deservedly goes to the people of the Mediterranean basin who have kept this ancestral tradition alive through the centuries. Thank you.
Thank you very much, and once more congratulations to Cyprus, Croatia, Spain, Greece, Italy, Morocco and Portugal. So we are coming to discussion of the decision 811. So I would kindly ask the chairperson of the subsidiary body to come back and to thank our Nigerian Vice President for his efficient work. Thank you very much. Please, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Merci à M. Ajiboula pour m'avoir remplacé pour présenter la candidature précédente. Nous passons maintenant, sans plus tarder, à la candidature suivante, présentée par l'Éthiopie, la fête de commémoration de la découverte de la véritable Sainte Croix du Christ. Le festival de Maskel est célébré dans toute l'Éthiopie le 26 septembre pour commémorer l'exhumation de la véritable Sainte Croix du Christ. Les célébrations s'organisent autour de l'embrasement du bûcher, appelé Damera, sur la place Maskel d'Addis Abeba. Des centaines de milliers de personnes venant de différentes communautés affluent sur la place, tandis que les prêtres vêtus de tenues colorées, chantent des hymnes et des prières et exécutent une danse rythmique unique. Maskel rassemble les familles et les communautés de tout le pays et promeut leur vie spirituelle basée sur la réconciliation, la cohésion sociale et la coexistence pacifique. Lors de son évaluation de cette candidature, l'organe subsidiaire a considéré qu'elle démontrait que chacun des 5 critères était rempli. Nous avons particulièrement apprécié le fait que l'élément proposé favorisait le dialogue interculturel au sein de la population pluriethnique du pays. Toutefois, voulant répondre à une certaine inquiétude sur les éventuels effets nocifs de la commercialisation et pour éviter la décontextualisation de l'élément à des fins touristiques, nous recommandons d'inviter l'État soumissionnaire à prendre des mesures pour éviter ces possibles effets négatifs. Nous recommandons donc que la fête de commémoration de la découverte de la véritable Sainte Croix du Christ soit inscrite sur la liste représentative. Merci, Monsieur le Président.
Thank you very much. So we have the draft decision, which I don't see any objections, don't have any objections from the delegations. That's why I apply for your support to inscribe this nomination. Approved. Our congratulations, and the floor is given for 2 minutes to representatives of Ethiopia.
Mr. Chairman, Madam Secretary, and all the participants of this convention, I really thank you for recognizing this age-old practice, and this is a historical event for us. Ethiopia is one of the most ancient country with all religions living together harmoniously. We have about 80 nations and nationalities, so this intangible cultural heritage practice has been maintained with this peaceful coexistence and with the mutual understanding of our people. Therefore, Ethiopia, having this intangible cultural heritage inscribed as a representative list, we really take care of what has been recommended by the committee, and we'll do our level best to safeguard and to maintain what is important and what is viable for our people. I here is represented by my country to see and really take this good news for my people. Ethiopia has got about 9 World Heritage Sites, but this is the first time tangible cultural heritage. Therefore, we'll do our level best to work with UNESCO and other subsidiary groups to support the cause of humanity and to promote and maintain the cultural heritage. Therefore, I'm very happy to say that we really accept all the recommendations and suggestions given to us, and we'll do our level best to conform to the obligation and the direction that we are given. Thank you very much. I'm so happy. Thank you.
Thank you. So we now once more congratulating Ethiopia, proceeding to the draft decision 812. So, Mr. Chairperson of the Subsidiary Body, the floor is yours again.
Merci beaucoup, Monsieur le Président. Nous passons maintenant à la candidature suivante, présentée par la France, les ostensions septennales limousines. Les ostensions septennales limousines... Oh, excusez-moi. Les ostensions septennales limousines consistent en de grandioses cérémonies et processions organisées tous les 7 ans en vue de l'exposition et de la vénération de reliques de saints chrétiens. Un grand nombre de personnes assistent aux festivités pour voir les reliquaires défiler dans les villes. La préparation des ostensions par les communes commence un an à l'avance et permet de renforcer les liens sociaux, tandis que les festivités favorisent l'intégration des nouveaux et des anciens habitants et sont l'occasion de réunions familiales. Les membres partis vivent ailleurs, revenant pour participer aux célébrations. Lors de son évaluation, l'organe subsidiaire a considéré que cette candidature démontre que tous les critères ont été satisfaits. Nous avons apprécié particulièrement la participation importante de la communauté du Limousin à l'élaboration de cette candidature et aussi dans la planification des mesures de sauvegarde. L'organe subsidiaire a aussi apprécié la particularité du rythme septennal auquel les communautés sont fermement attachées et qui constitue un marqueur temporel fort, ainsi comme l'importance actuelle de ces cérémonies pour lesquelles les praticiens et les organisateurs continuent à travailler et à se préparer en permanence. Les membres de l'organe subsidiaire ont également souhaité mentionner cette candidature parmi celles qui pourraient servir de modèle et de source d'inspiration pour d'autres États parties, et par conséquent recommandent que les ostensions septennales limousines soient inscrites sur la liste représentative. Merci, Monsieur le Président.
Thank you very much. Now this is another file recommended as a model by the subsidiary body. Any comments? Any amendments? I don't see any. So we consider this file also inscribed in the heritage list. Our congratulations to France, and the floor is yours for a couple of minutes, please.
Monsieur le Président, Mesdames et Messieurs, au nom de la France, je tiens tout d'abord à remercier chaleureusement tous les membres du comité d'avoir accepté cette inscription, l'inscription des ostensions et processions septennales limousines, dont la naissance remonte au Moyen-Âge sur la liste du patrimoine culturel immatériel. Nous nous félicitons en outre que cette inscription ait lieu à l'occasion du 10e anniversaire de la Convention pour la sauvegarde du patrimoine culturel immatériel, car, comme vous le savez, la France est au nombre des États qui soutiennent cette convention depuis son origine. Cette inscription vient récompenser un travail de très longue haleine mené par nos administrations que régionales et locales. Mais c'est également, et c'est surtout, grâce à l'implication des communautés sur place, que ce beau projet a pu voir le jour et aboutir avec succès. Ce sont ces communautés qui, par leur présence, par leur volonté, perpétuent cette tradition depuis plus d'un millénaire maintenant et contribuent ainsi à la richesse de notre patrimoine culturel immatériel. Ce sont également ces communautés qui, sans relâche, ont mené à bien le long processus visant à l'inscription de cette pratique exceptionnelle. Je tiens ici très officiellement à les en remercier et à les en féliciter. Si vous me le permettez, Monsieur le Président, je passe maintenant la parole à l'un des représentants de cette communauté que je viens d'évoquer et à l'un des promoteurs de ce projet, Monsieur Jacques Perrault. Je vous remercie.
Merci Monsieur l'ambassadeur. Monsieur le Président, Mesdames et Messieurs, c'est une très grande joie, vous l'imaginez, pour le Président de la Fédération des confréries limousines qui a porté effectivement et qui est ici ce dossier pendant plusieurs années et qui est entouré par quelques représentants de confréries qui sont venus à Baku pour entendre cette excellente nouvelle. C'est aussi, vous le savez, toute la population de Limousin qui va se réjouir. Tous les 7 ans, en effet, depuis de nombreux siècles, l'ambassadeur de France le rappelait, dans un pays qui n'est pas strictement religieux, avec des convictions souvent opposées. Tous les 7 ans, toute la population du Limousin se retrouve pour la préparation et le déroulement des ostensions limousines. Il s'agit d'un véritable rituel au rôle social important et créateur d'identité. Au nom des communautés qui ont soutenu cette candidature, je remercie l'organe subsidiaire et le comité de cette décision qui fait entrer les ostensions septenales limousines dans la grande famille du patrimoine culturel immatériel. Grâce à vous, le Limousin, qui compte déjà un élément du patrimoine culturel immatériel inscrit, la tapisserie d'Aubusson, va offrir au patrimoine culturel immatériel une base encore plus large à la visibilité de ce type de patrimoine. Je vous remercie.
Merci à tous. Now we proceed to the draft decision 813 presented by Georgia. So the floor is given to the chairperson of the Subsidiary Body, please.
Merci, Monsieur le Président. La candidature qui va occuper le comité à présent est présentée par la Géorgie. La méthode géorgienne de vinification de l'ancienne, dans les kvévries traditionnelles. La vinification à kvévrie tire son nom du récipient en argile, en forme d'œuf, le kvévri, dans lequel le vin fermente et est entreposé dans les villes et les villages de toute la Géorgie. Cette tradition joue un rôle important dans la vie quotidienne des Géorgiens et dans les célébrations et constitue une part indissociable de l'identité culturelle des communautés géorgiennes. Les vignes et le vin étant fréquemment évoqués dans les traditions orales et les chansons géorgiennes. La connaissance de ce patrimoine se transmet par l'intermédiaire des familles, des voisins et des amis qui participent tous aux vendanges et aux activités de vinification. Lors de son évaluation de cette candidature, l'organe subsidiaire a considéré qu'elle démontrait que tous les critères étaient satisfaits. Nous avons particulièrement apprécié l'évocation de cet élément en tant qu'exemple où le patrimoine culturel immatériel contribue à la cohésion sociale du pays et au renforcement de l'identité. L'organe a conclu que le dossier démontre que l'inscription de cet élément sur la liste représentative pourrait favoriser la prise de conscience de l'importance du patrimoine culturel immatériel en général. Les mesures de sauvegarde proposées ont pleinement convaincu l'organe subsidiaire et ses membres ont été unanimes dans l'appréciation de la mise en œuvre d'une stratégie centrée sur la transmission continue des connaissances et des savoir-faire. Par conséquent, l'organe subsidiaire recommande que la méthode géorgienne de vinification à l'ancienne dans les kvévries traditionnelles soit inscrite sur la liste représentative. Merci, Monsieur le Président.
Thank you very much for interesting explanation. We have another file which proposed to positive solution. So I don't see any objections and amendments. So we adopt this file into the Intangible Heritage List. Congratulations to Georgia. Let me give the floor to the Georgian delegation, please, for 2 minutes.
Thank you. Thank you very much, dear Chairman. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. It's a great honor for me, Minister of Culture of Georgia, to participate in this forum Let me give the floor to my first deputy.
Dear Chair, members of committee and subsidiary bodies, distinguished delegates, let us express our deep appreciation and gratitude to the committee and the experts on behalf of all Georgian people, communities, families and individuals who consider traditional Georgian way of winemaking to be an inseparable part of their cultural identity and inheritance. Many thanks to our Azerbaijani hosts for excellent organization of this important forum. Even today, the millennia-old practice of quarry winemaking connects generations, transcends all aspects of life, and accompanies Georgians from birth to death. It has a crucial place in social interactions and is related to the traditional Georgian hospitality, facilitating friendship, peace and goodwill. The informal character of this living tradition allowed the quarry wine to remain popular despite the pressure of industrialization and globalization. The international recognition is a great stimulus for us to make all possible efforts for adequate support and preservation of our intangible cultural heritage, which will contribute to the world cultural diversity as well. Let us inform you that currently we are finalizing the law on intangible cultural heritage, and this will allow us in the future to be actively involved in UNESCO initiatives. Finally, let us ensure you that people of Georgia will meet this decision with joy and pride. Also, it will be another occasion for celebrating and raising toast, of course with quarry wine. Thanks. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Thank you very much. We congratulate Georgia, our neighbors, with this positive inscription of the file. And I would like to apply to the members of the committee. As far in the morning today at the Bureau, there were proposals to have some gap of the time during the daytime, I mean the working days during the week, the end of the week. Maybe we will try to not to limit our work today until 6 o'clock, but maybe we will have opportunity to work 1 hour more to proceed faster, to have a little bit more time during the next days. If this is the decision which is done by committee members only, so if you don't mind, we will proceed. Of course, I understand that there are some concerts we arrange at 7 o'clock. Whoever wants, they can go there from the delegations, I mean. At 9 o'clock, we can propose you jazz concert again, so it is possibilities we can do. But if the members of the committee don't mind, we will proceed another 45 minutes, maybe 50 minutes. It's according to the files which we are going to look through. You don't mind? In this case, I would like to make 2 announcements. First of all is this meeting of the category 2. Will move from 6:30 to 7. So note that this meeting will take place at 7 o'clock. And another announcement on the behalf of the Azerbaijani delegation, that during the daytime, during the lunch, we had presented the style of the Azerbaijani traditional tea procedure. And to commemorate that, of course, it is not Georgian wine and Mediterranean food, but Azeri tea is also has some peculiarities with I hope that you will enjoy. Let me permit the delegation of our beautiful ladies to submit to every delegate a small piece of Azeri tea tradition. So, thank you. This is tea set with our local tea. If you like it, we are going to inscribe it next time. So, let us go further. In 2 minutes, let Jos finish with this. Çok sağ olun kızlar. So, we go further with the discussion of the draft decision 814. And again, I'm giving the floor to the chairperson of Subsidiary Body, Mr. Sconti. Please.
Merci beaucoup, Monsieur le Président, et merci beaucoup pour le thé. La prochaine candidature est celle présentée par l'Inde, le Sankirtana, chant rituel, tambour et danse du Manipur. Le Sankirtana englobe un ensemble d'arts interprétés afin d'accompagner certaines fêtes religieuses et certaines étapes de la vie des Vaishnavas. Des joueurs de tambour et des chanteurs danseurs représentent les vies et les actes de Krishna au moyen de chansons de dévotion qui provoquent souvent des réactions d'extase chez les dévots. Le Sankirtana se déroule à l'occasion de fêtes publiques et religieuses qui unissent la communauté. Il est également interprété lors des cérémonies liées au cycle de la vie de chaque individu. Toute la société est impliquée dans sa sauvegarde, avec des connaissances et compétences traditionnellement transmises de mentor à disciple. Il s'agit de la deuxième fois que le comité a l'occasion d'examiner cette candidature, puisqu'il vous a déjà été présenté à la 6e session à Bali, en Indonésie. Elle avait été renvoyée à l'État soumissionnaire, comme dans le cas de la Chine, pour information additionnelle sur le critère R5. Les membres de l'organe subsidiaire ont estimé que cette fois-ci, le dossier de candidature satisfait l'ensemble des critères et recommande donc son inscription sur la liste. Je précise que l'État soumissionnaire a choisi de réviser entièrement sa candidature et pas simplement le critère R5. Par conséquent, l'organe a évalué la totalité du dossier et non pas uniquement les informations relatives à ce critère. Cependant, permettez-moi de partager avec vous certaines réflexions dont l'organe subsidiaire estime qu'elles peuvent être d'intérêt pour l'État soumissionnaire. L'organe aurait apprécié pouvoir trouver dans ce dossier des mesures de sauvegarde plus précises. Il a cependant conclu que le dossier démontre que le critère R3 est rempli de manière satisfaisante. Nous suggérons néanmoins à l'État soumissionnaire un suivi de la mise en œuvre des mesures de sauvegarde et d'en faire état dans ses futurs rapports périodiques. Concernant le critère R5, qui avait préalablement posé problème au comité, l'organe subsidiaire a pu trouver des informations qui démontrent que cet élément est inclus dans un inventaire, ainsi que ce dernier était bien élaboré avec la participation des communautés et mis à jour conformément aux articles 11 et 12 de la Convention. Les membres de l'organe subsidiaire ont donc recommandé que Sankirtana, chant rituel, tambour et danse de Manipur soient inscrits sur la liste représentative. Merci, Monsieur le Président.
Thank you very much. Please, I apply to all audience for silence to the thorough discussion and taking the decision in the quite So, we have proposal of inscription. So, are there any amendments or comments? We don't see any from here. So, the decision is taken for inscription. Congratulations to India. May I give the floor to the state party, please, Indian delegation. Please keep silence in the hall.
Thank you, respected Chair. On behalf of the government and the people of India, let me thank you, firstly, for the warmth, hospitality, grace, and incredible efficiency with which this meeting has been conducted, and our stay has been made memorable. Let me also thank members of the committee for agreeing to inscribe what we believe is one of the more valuable elements, one of the more pivotal elements of our intangible cultural heritage. This heritage goes back a long time across many regions. In fact, last night we were reminded of its roots at the Mogama last evening, the presentations, because the roots are essentially the same, of mystic music, of religion, of peoples, and a reformation that spanned not only the Vaishnavite Hinduism in India, but goes back in time to Rumi, to the Sufi mystics. And at the same time, in the 14th and 15th centuries in Europe, in Northern Europe, there were the stirrings of change, of reform. So all of this is a part of that tradition. And as you could see from the photographs, there are elements of dance and ritual which have borrowed heavily from Southeast Asia. So thank you. And I'm sure that this part of India is in the far northeast, in the forests and hills that border Myanmar, far from what most people think of as being India. So we're very grateful to this. We're committed to the convention. We believe that this convention is in fact the most joyous, the most celebratory of UNESCO's cultural conventions. We believe, respected Chair, that under your stewardship, there will be the beginnings of change, of making this truly inclusive, where elements of cultures from all across the world are brought in and brought under the ambit of the convention. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much. Once more, our congratulations, and we are coming to the file number 815. Please, Chair.
Merci beaucoup, Monsieur le Président. Nous passons maintenant à la candidature suivante, présentée par l'Iran, la médecine traditionnelle iranienne. La médecine traditionnelle iranienne englobe une diversité de connaissances concernant la médecine préventive, les remèdes, ainsi que la préservation et la promotion de la santé. Elle s'intéresse à 6 facteurs fondamentaux: le climat, l'alimentation, le sommeil et le réveil, le mouvement et le repos, l'inconfort et son amélioration, et l'état psychologique. Elle est constituée de connaissances et pratiques transmises oralement, ainsi que de milliers de textes écrits. La philosophie et les connaissances traditionnelles sont très respectées et les populations les considèrent comme un élément déterminant de leur identité commune. Lors de son évaluation de cette candidature, l'organe subsidiaire a considéré que la candidature démontre ou satisfait aux critères R2, R3 et R4. Cependant, l'organe subsidiaire a conclu que les critères R1 et le critère R5 nécessitaient des informations complémentaires afin d'être satisfaits. Pour le critère R1, et tout en reconnaissant que diverses formes de médecine traditionnelle iranienne sont transmises de génération en génération, en procurant un sentiment d'identité à la population, l'organe subsidiaire a considéré que des explications complémentaires seraient nécessaires pour démontrer que ces diverses formes de médecine constituent un seul élément du patrimoine culturel immatériel et non pas plusieurs éléments associés. Enfin, concernant le critère R5, bien que l'État partie ait démontré que la médecine traditionnelle iranienne ait été incluse en 2009 sur la liste nationale iranienne représentative du patrimoine culturel immatériel, l'organe subsidiaire a trouvé des difficultés à considérer que le critère était satisfait. Cela est dû au manque d'informations permettant de préciser la portée de l'élément inclus et de délimiter les diverses communautés qui le pratiquent. Les membres de l'organe subsidiaire ont donc considéré qu'à ce stade, le dossier ne répondait pas encore suffisamment aux réserves soulignées pour ces deux critères R1 et R5 et qu'il gagnerait à être retravaillé à nouveau par l'État partie soumissionnaire et nous recommandons donc de lui renvoyer la candidature. Merci, Monsieur le Président.
Thank you very much. I think that there will be some comments or amendments. So we have Indonesia, Nicaragua. Please, Indonesia, the floor is yours. China.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, respected committee members. Indonesia finds this is an interesting nomination, coming as it is in the domain of knowledge of nature and the universe, or traditional local wisdom. And we appreciate the evaluation which has been given by the subsidiary body. We feel that the committee members would benefit from an explanation from the delegation of Iran, specifically with reference to the doubts which have been raised by the subsidiary body regarding criteria R1, regarding the scope of the element, and related to that also R5. So we would request the chairman to request the Iranian delegation to elaborate for us so that we can be more informed in our decision upon this element. Thank you.
Thank you. Nicaragua, please.
Muchas gracias, señor presidente. Al igual que la delegación precedente, nosotros quisiéramos que por medio suyo también se le preguntara a la delegación de Irán acerca de la metodología que ellos han utilizado para la inscripción de este elemento. Nosotros realmente estuvimos estudiando con detenimiento la nominación presentada por la República Islámica de Irán, y así como alguna información adicional que ha sido distribuido por ellos mismos. Nosotros vemos que hay varios países que tienen inscrita la medicina tradicional y nos parece que a nuestro entender esta inscripción podría realizarse igualmente. Muchas gracias, señor presidente.
Thank you very much. China, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We endorse the proposal of Indonesian delegation. To our understanding, the reason why the subsidiary body has not felt convinced with the content of the Iranian file is rooted in a yet not fully settled issue of deciding whether a file is inclusive or over-inclusive. My delegation feels that the methodology utilized by the evaluators on this matter needs to be reconsidered in a way that each file should be approached regarding its unique features and its meaning for the local community. So in this regard, we would like to join the Indonesian delegation in inviting Iran to elaborate on the nature of the element and its meaning among Iranian practitioners. Thank you.
Thank you. I would like the members of the committee apply with the specific questions which will be supportful to the delegation to answer to the questions themselves. So now Azerbaijan, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Our delegation finds the Iranian nomination file to be drafted in a good way and the logic behind the inscription of the element to be quite convincing. The diverse forms of Iranian traditional medicine are not separated, unmatched details. They constitute a single system, a bank of traditional knowledge based on the ancient philosophy of four elements of the nature known as in the East as Anasir Erbea. The hierarchy of ranks existing within the community of its practitioners is another argument in favor of the integrity, unity of the element. In view of this, we think it would be helpful if Iran answer the following question. How does Iran feel that it has succeeded in bringing different manifestations of Iranian traditional medicine in one single file? Thank you.
Thank you. Brazil, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, it's not the first time that we are faced with the issue of the scope of the element. I remember, I think it was 2 years back, we had an expert meeting in Paris on the size and the scope of the element. And I think one of the outcomes of that meeting is that we should always turn back to the community. It's the community that then has to define the scope of the element. So we want to understand better how Iran did it internally for registering their national registry, in their national list. How did they define this scope? Was it for each community? How the communities, the bearers of these elements identify with the practice? Thank you.
Thank you. Namibia, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Like with all other nominations, Namibia has also studied the nomination by the Islamic Republic of Iran carefully. Especially, we are interested in the way the Iranians have succeeded in bringing together rural traditional healers and the urbanized traditional medicine men and women within the same file. This is very interesting to us since we are also contemplating compiling nominations of elements shared by such communities. With your permission, Mr. Chairman, we would like to invite the Iranian delegation to elaborate a bit more on the points for which they did not receive a favorable consideration, and also to elaborate on the way Iran has inscribed the elements on its national list. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Egypt, please.
شكرا سيد الرئيس. واختصارا للوقت وحتى لا نكرر أنفسنا، فنحن نؤيد كل الزملاء الذين تحدثوا وطلبوا من الوفد الإيراني أن يجيب على بعض الأسئلة، خاصة ما طرحته البرازيل وأذربيجان. شكرا سيد الرئيس.
Thank you. Uganda.
Thank you very much, Chairperson. Uganda had a different view that under criteria 1, if Iran has clearly satisfied the committee that this element helps the community to recreate itself and also shows a sense of identity, and is passed on from one community to the other, or one generation to the other, then it fulfills that criteria. Secondly, on the issue of the scope of the element, this varies according to how each state party has done the inventorying of its element. It varies in the sense that in some instances, it might be one aspect of the element which is inventoried, and because of that aspect of continuous updating, then the scope will have to vary. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you. Tunisia.
شكرا سيد الرئيس. نحن بدورنا نرى أن تعدد أشكال الطب التقليدي لا يمنع من أنها تمثل أو يمكن أن تمثل عنصرا واحدا، وتبقى في نهاية الأمر الجماعة المحلية هي المرجعية الوحيدة في مثل هذا التحديد. ولهذا نطلب من الوفد الإيراني توضيحات بشأن مفهوم هذا العنصر، لا سيما وأنه قد تم إدراجه على قائمة القائمة الوطنية للحصر. وشكرا.
Thank you very much. Peru, please.
Gracias, señor presidente. Creo que Perú se aúna a lo que han dicho los oradores precedentes en el sentido de la importancia que tienen las medicinas tradicionales, ¿no es cierto?, que permiten la salud de nuestros pueblos, que muchas veces están al margen de una medicina oficial y costosa. En ese sentido, consideramos que es sumamente importante dar valor e inscribir elementos de medicina tradicional del mundo. En el caso de Perú tenemos más de 50 pueblos amazónicos que cada uno tiene una forma de medicina tradicional. ¿Y por qué? Porque cada medicina tradicional de cada grupo humano responde a una interacción de ese grupo humano con su entorno, por ejemplo, con las plantas que tiene alrededor y de las cuales dispone para curarse. Asimismo, responden a su propia cosmovisión, es decir, a sus creencias, a sus sistemas de fe. En ese sentido es que nos preocupó la amplitud del elemento aquí presentado como uno solo. No dudamos en forma alguna en el órgano subsidiario sobre la importancia de la medicina tradicional en Irán. Pero sí nos preocupó que estuviera definida como un solo sistema, porque no había suficiente información sobre cómo tantas prácticas de grupos distintos podían ser una sola práctica y resumidos en un solo expediente. Por eso es que el órgano subsidiario considera que es importante el referral, es decir, el devolver el expediente para tener mayor información, para que el expediente se perfeccione. Esto no es un no a la medicina tradicional iraní, todo lo contrario, es que se quiere saber más cómo esto forma un todo, si es que esto forma un todo, y si no es así, habrá que ir declarando cada sistema como una entidad única y perteneciente a un pueblo. Ese es el espíritu de este referral. Y también creo que, por lo que estaba ocurriendo acá, y para eso el comité es totalmente soberano, ¿no es cierto?, así como lo fue el año pasado en París, quizás sea momento de pensar en reflexionar acerca de los criterios que se están aplicando para la lista representativa, ¿no? Porque vemos que cuando se aplican los criterios existe un cambio desde el comité. Entonces quizás hay que decir más explícitamente que hay una apertura en la aplicación de estos criterios. No sé, es una reflexión que habrá que hacer a futuro y a la luz de nuestra experiencia en la lista representativa. Muchas gracias, señor presidente.
Thank you. Belgium, please.
Thank you very much. First, we would like to echo the remarks made by Brazil and Peru, and specifically point to page 2, where the statement is made that the Iranian traditional medicine is known to and practiced by all Iranian communities and is popular in all urban, rural and nomadic societies all over the country. So that are a lot of communities, and we would like to know how they gave their prior and informed consent and how they were consulted. Regarding to the inventory in the file, there's a mentioning it's mentioning an inscription in 2008. Probably it is an error for 2009, but if we take a look at the inventory, it is very general and it refers to prehistory as a time frame. So this poses a number of questions. And a very detailed question on page 11, where the amount of the budget for the safeguarding plan is presented. It is explained that $100 million will be spent, 20% for research, 20% for education and training, 40% for equipment. And what about the other 20%? We would like to be informed what it will be used for, the 20% that is missing. Thank you.
Thank you. Burkina Faso, please.
Merci bien, Monsieur le Président. J'allais dire que mon intervention est sans objet après l'intervention de la déléguée du Pérou tout à l'heure. Parce qu'effectivement, c'est la question qu'il faut se poser. Est-ce qu'effectivement, nous avons affaire à un tout ou nous avons affaire effectivement à une multitude d'éléments? C'est de voir effectivement quel est le lien qui peut exister entre ces différentes composantes-là qui forment le tout. Je voudrais rappeler également aux délégués qu'avant effectivement la tenue de la réunion du groupe de travail sur l'étendue et la portée des éléments, je crois qu'en 2011, le comité avait déjà été confronté donc à ce type de candidature. Et si effectivement l'orientation serait d'aller vers ces candidatures peut-être génériques qui englobent tout et dont on n'arrive pas effectivement à cerner les contours et à cerner de façon précise les communautés, effectivement, ce serait à prendre en compte comme orientation donnée par le comité. Merci bien, Monsieur le Président.
Thank you, and Kyrgyzstan.
Thank you. Kyrgyzstan would like to clarify the issue which have been asked by other delegations. If the Iranian delegation talks about Iranian traditional medicine as a holistic system or about a philosophy of the system, could we ask the delegation to point out where in the nomination file it's been reflected or written? Thank you.
Thank you. After questions given by members of the committee, I think it will be correct to give the floor to Iranian delegation. With the request to clarify and give the answers to the questions which have been done to pass to the draft decision discussion. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, for granting us the floor. Since this is the first time we have been granted the floor, we would like to thank the host country, the Republic of Azerbaijan, for its warm hospitality and the endeavor to hold the present magnificent cultural event, which has defined our region with an outstanding achievement. Mr. President, since the time available to us seems to be short, and regarding the considerable number of questions raised, while thanking the distinguished committee members for their consideration of the file with care, I would like to ask for your permission for a little bit of indulgence to enable us to elaborate on the points, on all of the points. The nomination by the Islamic Republic of Iran focuses on the basics of the Iranian traditional medicine. We Iranians consider these basic and fundamental features as the philosophy of our traditional medicine. This fundamental core is unique throughout the country. I mean, it is shared by all of the communities throughout Iran to the extent that the element is truly referred to as Iranian traditional medicine. It has been the same core that constitutes the ICH element Iran has nominated for inscription. What the third paragraph of the above mentioned of the draft decision under R1 refers to as diverse forms of Iranian traditional medicine are actually the methods of utilizing these basics. In fact, it is this basic core that brings such methods together. In fact, we are confident that the nomination has provided the Intergovernmental Committee with a full-fledged example of a truly representative, inclusive file. Iran wants to take the opportunity to make a reliable parallelism between the present nomination, Iranian traditional medicine, and the successful Iranian inclusive nomination of the 2011 cycle titled Naqali, the Iranian dramatic storytelling, that was unanimously praised by the majority of distinguished committee members, the ICH section experts, and other individual practitioners in the field of intangible cultural heritage for its outstanding values and as a best example of a truly inclusive file. As a brief explanation, the philosophy of the Iranian traditional medicine rests upon its understanding that nature and its balance depend upon four basic elements of water, soil, wind, and fire, symbolizing respectively fluids, gases, energy, and solids. It follows that the human body, as a part of the surrounding nature, manifests as a mixture of these elements. Finally, illness is defined as lack of balance among these elements, and remedies are based upon 6 principles that bring the balance back to the body. As mentioned above, the communities scattered throughout the country have their specific techniques for bringing balance to body, while adhering to the mentioned philosophy. On the other hand, compilations and submissions of separate nominations, each for one individual technique, will never result in the presentation to the world with the basic philosophy of the Iranian traditional medicine, which the Iranian practitioners and experts regard as the true spirit of the element, which defines it as an intangible cultural heritage of humanity. Finally, Iran would like to emphasize that explanation of the element without proper reference to diverse manifestations in the form of the mentioned methods and techniques will result in an adequate description of it. By this description, we want to say that the philosophy will act as some sort of thread on which the pearls are put. So these manifestations could function as examples. The above mentioned, as well as a number of others, have convinced the Iranian experts, as well as representatives of the community of the Iranian traditional medicine bearers and practitioners, to decide upon compiling and submitting an inclusive nomination on the subject. And regarding argument criterion number 5, which regards the methodology of our inscription, national inscription, we want to say that the argumentations above justify this approach, which is followed by the Iranian Cultural Heritage Organization in inscribing the traditional medicine under a single inscription number on the Iranian national list. Naturally enough, as mentioned in the nomination text, the decision for the inscription was taken based upon awareness of the communities of practitioners of traditional medicine, the methods with which they work, and especially according to their own insistence. In the course of their full involvement in the nomination process, on the necessity for them to be considered as members of the same overall community of bearers and practitioners of Iranian traditional medicine. As mentioned in the nomination text, the Iranian representative list is updated regularly. For the inclusive items, including Iranian traditional medicine, the list is updated by continuous inscriptions of various local manifestations of the element. The process consists of keeping the original main or umbrella inscription number and annexing to that number of the newly inscribed manifestations through following it by assigning subsidiary numbers after a slash. So, for example, we have item number 87/15, which it means the 15th manifestation. In this way, the Iranian list succeeds in inscribing an inclusive item together with all of its manifestations, while respecting the 2003 Convention and especially the Articles 11 and 12 thereof. The method is comparable to the universally respected tree-diagram classifications of concepts and entities together with their subsidiary manifestations. Iran would like to attract the kind attention of the distinguished committee members to a final point in this same relation. As mentioned transparently, in the nomination text, the members of the community of bearers and practitioners of Iranian traditional medicine have succeeded in establishing a national union among themselves, where they present all different specialists to respect the diversity of the element. This points to the fact that Iran has succeeded in prescribing the collective efforts. Regarding the budget, the missing part which was asked by the distinguished delegation of Belgium regards the budget. It has been, yes, he is right, it has been mistakenly not included in the nomination text. It is used for awareness raising and for obtaining public opinions. And for the inscription, yes, you are right. The date is 2009. I hope I have been able to answer all of the questions. If there is any other question, we will be ready to give an answer. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much. I think that we have now to come to the discussion of the draft proposal. So, any amendments from any members of the committee? Nicaragua, please.
Muchas gracias, señor presidente. Nosotros en el R1 quisiéramos proponer el siguiente cambio. Lo voy a leer en inglés para facilitar el tiempo. The Iranian traditional medicine is an element of identity for Iranians and bring together the bearers and practitioners of various techniques and methods around a shared fundamental doctrine. The tradition is transmitted from generation to generation and presents itself as a practical method for respecting cultural diversity. Esa es la propuesta primera, pues, que queremos someter a consideración del comité. Muchas gracias.
Any other comments? Proposals? So, should we proceed on the proposal of Nicaragua? Go. Paragraph by paragraph. Is there any support to the proposal of Nicaragua? Albania.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Actually, I would like here to make a point of order in order to clarify the methods of work and the procedure. I would like to kindly ask that the silence of the delegations that do not take the floor should not be interpreted as support for the amendment when the amendment aims to change the recommendation of the subsidiary body. It was my understanding that since the beginning the committee agreed that by default the committee agrees with the recommendation of the subsidiary body, which I remind the members of the committee, it is us that gave the duty to the subsidiary body to make this evaluation. Now, the committee is sovereign, of course, and it can change the recommendations only if the majority of the members take the floor to support amendments that change the recommendation of the subsidiary body. But I would like to emphasize that the delegations that do not take the floor does not mean that they support the amendments. It means they support the recommendation of the subsidiary body. Thank you.
Thank you. I clearly understand your position. So I don't see any other support to the amendment of the Nicaragua. So I have to proceed according to the proposal done by the subsidiary body. Any disagreements? according, I don't think that there is necessity to go to paragraph by paragraph, or in general. We are coming to the solution of proposed by the subsidiary body. Nicaragua, please.
Muchas gracias, señor presidente. En vista del ajuste, y agradezco a la delegación de Albania por recordarnos el procedimiento a seguir, yo haría entonces dos propuestas concretas. La primera, eliminar el párrafo 3, y la tercera, cambiar la decisión a que se inscriba en la lista representativa. Muchas gracias, señor presidente.
I didn't understand.
Sí, con mucho gusto. Gracias al recordatorio que nos ha hecho la delegación de Irán y al parecer la voluntad del comité es de proseguir el procedimiento que ya está previamente establecido. Mi propuesta es de que se cambie la decisión para que se inscriba en la lista representativa y no devolvérsela al Estado, es decir, que se acepte. Muchas gracias.
For inscription, I understand that the amendment which you gave had to be accepted by the committee members. So in this case, but it was not. So there is another proposal to inscribe. So I don't see another supporters, I mean. So if so, I can't come to the decision that it is revision of the decision of the subsidiary body. So we are going to the file. Number 5, R5. Do you have any other proposals? Is there any support to the revision of the R5? So we proceed according to the proposal of the subsidiary body. So the draft proposed by subsidiary body approved. May I give the floor on Iranian delegation, so for 2 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, once again for the floor. While admiring the distinguished committee members, both those who supported us and to go for the inscription, and those who felt that they still need more information on our part, as well as the dear expert members of the subsidiary body and the dear personnel of the ICH section for their hard work and full attention directed towards the Iranian submitted file, we feel driven to express the Iranian delegation's sadness on the impossibility of reaching a consensus on the true meaning of what the Iranian people understand and respect as a core element called Iranian traditional medicine. We feel obliged to say that with the existing procedural requirements, we will at least remain in need of extensive expert discussions to find a way to inscribe what we introduced to you in the present cycle. Nevertheless, Iran still feels that the Iranian traditional medicine in its totality presents the world with an example of an intangible cultural heritage of humanity. Anyway, the Iranian delegation wants to reiterate its commitment to the spirit of the 2003 Convention and would like to declare that Iran will continue with extensive work on its pending nomination files, including the one that was referred back today. We will also continue, as we have declared previously, with special attention directed to multinational files, to repeat the sweet memory of collaborating with the Nowruz territory states. I would like to end my remarks with expressing our warmest gratitude to all of the distinguished members of the committee, those who raised questions, and we wish, as we have always done, a prosperous date for our convention. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much. Now we proceed to the discussion of the file proposed by Italy, the file number 816. Please, Chairperson, Mrs. Conti.
Merci beaucoup, Monsieur le Président. Nous allons maintenant introduire la candidature soumise par l'Italie, les processions de structures géantes portées sur les épaules. Les processions catholiques de structures cérémonielles géantes portées sur les épaules sont organisées dans toute l'Italie et notamment à Nola, Palmi, Sassari et Viterbo. Les célébrations communautaires nécessitent la participation de musiciens et chanteurs ainsi que d'artisans qualifiés qui fabriquent les structures processionnelles et créent les vêtements et les artefacts des cérémonies. Le partage coordonné et équitable des tâches en vue d'un projet commun est un élément fondamental des célébrations. Les structures sont recréées tous les ans grâce à la transmission non formelle des techniques et des connaissances mises en jeu. Les membres de l'organe subsidiaire ont été unanimes dès le début de leur examen à considérer que cette candidature satisfait l'ensemble des critères. L'organe a particulièrement apprécié que la candidature rassemble 4 éléments similaires en série, en faisant participer les communautés de 4 villes différentes. Les membres de l'organe subsidiaire ont enfin souhaité mentionner que cette candidature pourrait figurer parmi celles qui peuvent servir de modèle et de source d'inspiration à d'autres États parties, et par conséquent, ils recommandent que les processions de structures géantes portées sur les épaules soient inscrites sur la liste représentative. Merci, Monsieur le Président.
Thank you very much. So we have the proposal of the subsidiary body for the inscription of this file into the list. Any objections? Any comments? Any proposals? Don't see any. So the file is inscribed. Congratulations. May I give the floor to the Italian delegation, please, for 2 minutes. Are there any representative from Italy? So, please, the floor is yours.
Bring your Italy.
I'm sorry there was a problem with the mic, which made the experience even more thrilling. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Ladies and gentlemen, Italy wishes to address to the Intergovernmental Committee for the Safeguarding of Intangible Cultural Heritage, to the state parties of the Convention, and to the UNESCO its sincere gratitude for the prestigious recognition awarded to the candidature of the celebrations of big Shooter-borne processional structures, with its inscription in the representative list of the intangible cultural heritage of humanity. I would like to express this appreciation on behalf of the Italian government, of the Italian National Commission for UNESCO, and especially on behalf of the Italian local communities that have been involved with their culture and their traditions for the fulfillment of this candidature according to the spirit of UNESCO and of the 2003 Convention. The celebrations of big Shooter-borne processional structures constitute an outstanding example of an articulate system for the safeguarding and promotion of deep-rooted folk customs that are intensely experienced by a wide part of the local populations. Italy is traditionally one of the most active members of UNESCO, in particular in the sector of the safeguarding, preservation and promotion of both tangible and intangible cultural heritage. Italy intends to further strengthen the collaboration with the organization and to share with the community of the member states its passion and its competence in such fields. Finally, I have the pleasure of briefly leaving the floor for a short intervention to the delegate and representative of the local communities that have so strongly wanted to be here today and that with their enthusiasm have made possible this renowned international recognition. Thank you.
Sono responsabile della candidatura delle feste delle grandi macchine a spalle italiane e rappresento le comunità di Nola, Palmi, Viterbo e Sassari. Vorrei ringraziare l'organo sussidiario, il Comitato Intergovernativo, per il giudizio positivo e lusinghiero che è stato dato al nostro lavoro e alla nostra proposta. Un ringraziamento speciale va al professore Morales per i suoi consigli preziosi. In questi anni le comunità della rete hanno fermamente creduto nel dialogo e nello scambio tra gruppi e individui sul tema delle loro secolari feste. Lo hanno fatto nella convinzione che tutto ciò potesse diventare strumento di conoscenza e di collegamento con contesti solo geograficamente e territorialmente distanti e che potesse aiutare a condividere un percorso di salvaguardia, valorizzazione e trasmissione che avrebbe portato alla consapevolezza condivisa del patrimonio e avrebbe divulgato le feste oltre i campanili italiani, oltre i limitati confini territoriali. La prospettiva UNESCO è diventata nel tempo valore aggiunto e ha proiettato la feste della rete in un contesto internazionale prestigioso e riconosciuto, che ha incoraggiato le comunità a perseverare nella loro azione di salvaguardia condivisa, per consegnare al mondo e alle generazioni presenti e future le loro feste, patrimonio del cuore, patrimonio dell'umanità.
Thank you very much. And I think that we will now proceed to the discussion of the last file today, which is number 817. Please, Chairperson, Mr. Sconti.
Merci beaucoup, Monsieur le Président. Sans plus tarder, nous allons passer à la candidature suivante présentée par le Japon. Le washoku, tradition culinaire des Japonais, en particulier pour fêter le Nouvel An. Le washoku est un ensemble très riche de savoir-faire, de connaissances et de traditions liées à la préparation et à la consommation d'aliments et au respect des ressources naturelles. Observé typiquement lors des fêtes du Nouvel An, il prend la forme de plats spéciaux, joliment décorés et préparés à base d'ingrédients frais ayant chacun une signification symbolique. Ces plats sont partagés par les membres de la famille ou de la communauté. Les connaissances de base et les savoir-faire associés au washoku se transmettent au sein du foyer lors de partage des repas. Lors de leurs évaluations individuelles, les membres de l'organe subsidiaire étaient unanimes sur la qualité de cette candidature concernant l'ensemble des critères. Et donc, l'organe subsidiaire a conclu que cette candidature démontre la satisfaction des 5 critères nécessaires. L'organe a notamment constaté avec satisfaction qu'un grand nombre de communautés, d'individus et d'instituts de recherche, ainsi que les autorités locales, aient participé au processus de candidature, mais aussi à l'élaboration et à l'application des mesures de sauvegarde. Comme dans le dossier précédent, les membres de l'organe ont souhaité mentionner cette candidature parmi celles qui pourraient servir de modèle et de source d'inspiration à d'autres États parties et par conséquent recommandent que le washoku, tradition culinaire des Japonais, en particulier pour fêter le Nouvel An, soit inscrit sur la liste représentative. Merci, Monsieur le Président.
Thank you, Mr. Sconti. Thank you very much for this proposal, and I believe that there is no any other proposals on behalf of our members of the committee. So the proposal is approved by the committee. Japan, congratulations.
Thank you, Mr. Chairperson. Thank you thank you, the host country, Azerbaijan, the members of the committee, the chair, and other members of the subsidiary body, all the state parties, and the secretariat. It is an extraordinary honor for me to express my sincere gratitude that our file washoku, traditional dietary cultures of Japan, notably for the celebration of New Year, will now be inscribed on the list. Washoku is strongly associated with the essential Japanese spirit of respect for nature. It is also closely related to the sustainable use of various natural local ingredients such as rice, fish, vegetables, and edible wild plants. We Japanese have passed down washoku, especially in each home at shared meal times, and have felt our identity through this practice. This social practice definitely gives us the feeling of social cohesion. And generally, a meal of washoku for dinner is calculated about 1,000 kilocalories, which means a very low calorie and very good for health and diet. But unfortunately, in my very private case, it's not so successful because I take always double portions. Hence, I'm sure that the inscription of washoku will contribute to the awareness raising of the significance of intangible cultural heritage throughout the world. Our government will continue to make every effort to implement the safeguarding measures proposed and transmit it to future generations. Once again, please let me express my heartfelt thanks on behalf of all related communities in Japan. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, and once more, congratulations to our Japanese delegation. With the withdrawal by Kazakhstan of its nomination, as reflected in the addendum to our working documents, we can continue with the now the last document today, which submitted by Kyrgyzstan. So I give the floor to Mr. Sconti, please.
Merci beaucoup, Monsieur le Président. Nous allons maintenant présenter la candidature soumise par le Kirghizistan, Manas Semete Seytek, trilogie épique kirghize. La trilogie témoigne de la mémoire historique du peuple kirghize et doit sa survie à une communauté de conteurs qui narrent leurs récits avec un rythme, un temps et des gestes dans des fêtes de village ou lors de célébrations et de fêtes nationales. Elle aide les jeunes à mieux comprendre leur histoire, leur culture, leur environnement naturel et les peuples du monde et leur procure un sentiment d'identité et promeut la tolérance et le multiculturalisme. Lors de son évaluation de cette candidature, l'organe subsidiaire a considéré qu'elle démontre l'ensemble des critères. L'organe subsidiaire a apprécié particulièrement l'ampleur et la transversalité des mesures visant à sauvegarder et promouvoir la trilogie épique, incluant la documentation, la recherche, l'éducation formelle et non formelle à tous les niveaux et le soutien du gouvernement aux institutions de recherche ainsi que l'adoption de mesures juridiques. L'ample participation et l'attachement de la communauté a été considéré comme un autre atout et une autre garantie de sauvegarde. Les membres de l'organe subsidiaire ont donc recommandé que Manas Semete Seytek, trilogie épique kirghize, soit inscrite sur la liste représentative. Merci, Monsieur le Président.
Thank you very much. So, any other opinion? No other proposal, objections? So, we consider the file proposed by Kazakhstan inscribed. Congratulations. The floor is given to Kyrgyzstan, please.
Her vaqtınız xeyir, hurmatlı Janab Nazir, hurmatlı komite üzvləri.
Dear participants of the meeting, honorable chairman and members of the secretariat.
Men Kırgız ulu, Kırgız elimdin atынан bardığınızlarga birinci кезекте bordoş Azerbaycan eline, jana UNESCO'nun жетекчилигине, секретариатка bardığınızlarga tereň raşylyk bildirебиz.
On behalf of the Kyrgyz people and government, allow me first of all to express my sincere gratitude to the Azeri people, organizers of the 8th session of the ICH Intergovernmental Committee meeting, for the warm hospitality and welcome. We also would like to thank the UNESCO and the Secretariat of the 2003 Convention and experts and members of the Subsidiary Body and committee members for their compassion in implementation of the Convention and wish them success and patience as we can witness here their hard work.
Bugün Kırgız elinin, Kırgız mamleketinin ötken tarıхын, turmuş tirçiligi mede madaniyatın, qada saltı menen Kırgız elinin bütkül ruhun içine kamtıgan Manas Semete Seytek üçültigen Kırgızstandın atınan eken dep taanıp dünya yüzüne düngürötüp anı koldop doğuş bergen bardık bugünkü katçı oturanlarga tereň raşylyk bildirebиz.
We deeply appreciate today's event when the Kyrgyz trilogy Manas Semete Seytek, which encompasses the history of the Kyrgyz, their life, culture and traditions, and the most important, the spirit of the Kyrgyz people, which was inscribed on the representative list of the Intangible Cultural Heritage of Humanity. We thank you all for your support and for sharing with us the common heritage.
Albatta, bir eldi madaniyatı, anın madani murası önükкөн же басмырланган жерде önügü bolбой turgandыгын бардыгыбыз жакшы билебиz. Madani murastардын көп кырдуулугу, madani салттарыбыздын ар түрдүүлүгү, дүйнөлүк madani murастарыбызды толуктап, элдердин ортосундагы ажырымды жакындатып, бүткүл дүйнө элдерине биримдикке чакырууга өбөлгө болоруна терең ишенемин.
As we all know, the hegemony of culture of any nation or country cannot lead to the sustainable development, and I deeply believe that respect for diverse human heritage and traditions leads to a much better world.
ЮНЕСКО'нун тизмесине Кыргыз элинин кылымдарды карытып келген улуу эпосунун 3 бөлүгүн кирип атканы бул биздин элдин дүйнөлүк маданиятка кошкон абдан чоң салымы деп сыймыктанабыз. Биздин улуу жазуучубуз Чыңгыз Айтматовдун белгилүү сөзүн эсиңиздерге сала кетким келет. Кыргыз эли Египеттикиндей пирамидаларды курбаганы менен, Микеланджелонун сүрөттөрүн тартпаганы менен, сөз күчү аркылуу океан сымал улуу эпосту жараткан эл.
We are honored that the trilogy Manas Simetri Sitek contributes to enriching the world's culture. Allow me to remind you the words of our great writer Chingiz Aytmatov. The Kyrgyz people could not build great pyramids like in Egypt and draw pictures of as great Michelangelo, but the Kyrgyz people used the power of the world to create an epic as deep as an ocean.
Урматтуу комитеттин мүчөлөрү, бүгүн ушул залда Манас Семетей Сейтек айтуучулардын жаңы муундагы биздин манасчылар отурат. Мына ушул кишилерге улуксат берсеңер дагы, сиздерге дагы салам айтып койсо, биздин манасчылардын эң кичинекей үмөтбөгөгө сөз берсек.
Allow me to give a few words to our young generation, the bearers of the trilogy since they are among us, and they wanted to express their gratitude as well.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
koldoy gördür savıllıp, hayran ayınlar göster, arvağın türün gerilin, koldoy görsün yemelin, tağoşon da kolda olsun kokustan, kokusfal cücoldaman, devoşon da savıllıp, hayran enen calınıp, yakçağın karaçar kallan,
Ay kılmanas kallan, hoşoğunda karasan, köngüldü bölüntüp, hala toda görünüp, körse göngül bölünüp, karaçar kallan, kaptalında çamınıp, soluk gökçalar ustan, canday salıp kamınıp, halk karanış üstünün, harbay tabutun salıptır, harbay uçup alıptır, atka mingen gelbeti, hala toda söylötü, söyle kötü göründü, aymenin tutulup, karanlık düşüp kalganday, köle kösü göründü, kemik ketken kırgızdın, kelesegi göründü, bunu sonu görgünde, kaynap jatkan kalın el, oşanda tuzsuz yakana bölündü.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I think that this presentation is sufficient. So, you know, in the file, it is written. Thank you. In the file, it is written that this presentation can last nearly 13 hours without stop. So we had only a small part of that. We once more congratulate Kyrgyzstan with this inscription, and now let's summarize the situations with the files. We approached the 20th file, the file number 820, and here we stop to start discussion tomorrow morning. I think that today the committee worked very efficiently with the chairmanship of Brazil. Thank you very much, and thanks to all of you. So, several announcements. The Category 2 Centers meeting will take immediately now on the first floor in Hosan Hall. The concert is arranged and you can go there, but after that I don't think that we will have some decision. The other announcement that we recently opened the architectural vision of our new carpet museum with a part of installation of the exhibition. It is opened until 9 o'clock in the evening, so anyone who wants to go there with the badge, it's free access. People are waiting. If you want to get acquainted how the new carpet museum will present in a half an hour, next half a year, the final exhibition, it will be interesting for you to go there and to see the new carpet museum. NGO committee that invited by the committee, please remember that as yesterday there will be a short debriefing session right now here in the room, and tomorrow again the NGO forum meeting from 9 to 10 in room Azerbaijan. The Bureau will meet again 9:30 in room Hövsan, and our session will start at 10 o'clock as usual. If we will finalize the discussions as smooth as possible, so maybe on Friday we will have some time with the permission of the Secretariat and all of us, committee members, to give some more free time to the people to have access to the touristic places. So thank you very much for your work. Thank you.